Greetings and salutations, Dota fans! It is I, Badger, back for some more League of Legends Season 9 action. I am joined today, as I tend to be, by the always logical manager of Simply 2 Based, member of the Dota Buff staff, Stone's Throwaway from 8K, middle lane extraordinaire, and item build expert, Logical Dota. How are you on this fine evening?
Thank you. I'm doing good. I wonder what's the idea behind item build expert?
You're you have a lot of thoughts about item builds, in terms of like starting item builds. Some very
That's
interesting
it.
thoughts. Many of
Okay, okay.
many of them have been proven to be true after pros start doing them. So I think you're onto something with these item build derivatives and whatnots. But what we have on our hands is it is a losers brackets elimination match between Polar Ass and Pig Trotters. It is a best of 3. Winner goes on, makes the top 8. Loser goes home. And for both these teams, the expectations going into the season were higher than this. So it's time to put all of the cards on the table. And surprise, surprise, a lot of similar heroes are being picked again. Polar Ass, they grab perhaps the hero of the patch, and Pig Trotters grab 2 heroes that are both very good, and they picked a lot this patch.
I think this first phase is probably has more unfamiliar heroes than we're used to seeing for the most part. Scarlet Mage first phase ban. That's just a player ban kind of thing. And then Tide Omni is like kind of normal, but normally you don't see those heroes banned. Wisp is just uncontested so far, but that's kind of reasonable because not these teams may not be Wisp teams. Undying's also another really cool hero. This hero lanes very well against Tiny, and then the ultimate's also very good against Tiny with the damage amp, but it's certainly not common. Yeah, it's certainly not common.
I don't think either of these teams play the IO. I know Pig Trotters definitely don't, and I don't think Polar Ass do, but it wouldn't be unheard of for Cello to play like IO or something, but probably not. I think we're thinking more of like an. I was gonna say Omniate probably, but Omniate's banned, so maybe some alternative tiny buffing hero.
5 Invoker.
It is possible. I mean, it's unlikely, but instead we get the more reliable Bane, the hero that both Cello and Nephilim love to play. So could be 5, could be 4. Regardless, powerful hero in the lane. More of a last patch hero, but still certainly viable in this patch, and we see it again.
Yeah, that's one way to buff your Tiny is just by stunning heroes for him. The only like kind of normal hero that I could think of that would still like buff Tiny, I guess Abaddon would have been fine as well, but it was Vengeful Spirit for the base damage. Bane's really good though.
And I feel like Venge is one of those heroes we've been seeing a major upswing in Venge play, so it wouldn't be too unheard of to see this Vengeful Spirit hero get picked. Both pro players and amateur players have been really picking more Venge, so maybe we see it this game. You never know.
Yeah, that hero is very easy to play around, but it's not in this game.
Not yet. Not yet. It could still come. Well, I'm hopeful. I am bullish on the odds of Venge being picked.
Okay.
My heart is set on Venge 4 now, or something crazy like that.
The Venge offlane is like probably the most common role, and then after that it's like 5 and 4.
Never mind. That is not a Filski hero.
Yeah.
That is definitely not a Filski hero. He's a real, for those who don't necessarily watch Filski a lot, strength hero, stunner, Midas builder, Necrophos. There's not one of those heroes. Filski's probably not playing it.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Generalization of his pool. Big Trotter's banning a lot of. I don't even know how to describe these heroes, but I like their bans because I don't want those heroes when I play Dota. So I think it's pretty reasonable that they ban these. Necrophos, Timbersaw, Batrider, Death Prophet. I can get behind that.
I mean, I agree. It's one of those things where sometimes it's all about enjoying your Dota game, and any of these dire bands to play against, you do not enjoy your Dota game, so makes a lot of sense. And we have this Mirana pick, which is interesting because I want to say both Sauce and Mortal play both of these supports, so we could see Undying 4, Mirana 5, Mirana 4, Undying 5. Likely the Mirana 4, but considering both the players do play these supports, it has an innate ability to flex around with the way that Pictures are going to lane this game.
Yeah, and I think the Murata will probably be getting more money, even if it's 5.
Yeah.
The most likely, the roles will most likely be chosen just depending on the lane, and it looks to be actually it could be decent chance there's it's offlane Mars this game, in which case the Murata probably lanes better with it. At the same time, there's the argument that could be made that you want to lane Undying against Tiny, which is pretty fair.
You could always have the Undying pencil into lane into the Tiny until Radiant pick a different strength off lane here. It's like, oh, they have, say, CK to play off lane. They'll put the Undying in that lane. That actually is a strength hero that has been played off lane as of recently, but that's not the hero you want to see if you're Undying.
It's yeah. I think Undying is probably good against Snap and lane,
Really?
but yeah, do you think it goes the other way around or?
Because you pop Little Shredder and you kill a Doomstone, right?
Yeah. Well, I yeah, I think so. Level 1 Tombstone, right? Yes. Okay. Well, I just want to make sure I got the numbers right. I know you don't kill it at max level. You get 6 hits. Okay, so you kill level 1, level 2 Tombstone. I think that Undying in lane isn't really like you don't really care about the Tombstone that much, and so just kind of pressing Decay and hitting the Snapfire can make your lane pretty okay. I think the bigger thing that you have to worry about for Undying and Snapfire is the minus armor because you just have so much raw HP. The fact that the Snapfire puts you at like -3, -4 armor means that a lot of lanes can actually kill you. However, I don't think that fully turns the matchup. I think Undying's still good against Snap in a vacuum. Void Spirit Huskar.
Well, Void Spirit's a hero the whole city likes, but Huskar is a hero who, for anyone who knows Jim, Rook, Mr. Salacious Sea Lion, he has been on the Huskar train for the entire patch, and lo and behold, Huskar has been selected in a playoff match.
Yeah, this hero's really good. I think probably the best team at using it has been Entity in Europe. I know you don't watch any Europe at all, but Crystalis, the end gaming carry player, is really really good at it. He was also one of the like first people who got on the Huskar train. I would say like mid last patch, carry Huskar. This hero farms abnormally quickly, and it hits an extremely strong timing. It's very fast as well. So if you don't mess up, game feels just like oppressive a lot of the time if you're playing against Huskar.
Actually, an incredibly accurate offhand comment too. I watch every region of Dota but Europe out of principle.
Really?
I watch a good bit of Chinese and SEA Dota. Chinese, I like watching Neff and Ricky and some of the casters for China. SEA because I work for BTS, and then NASA are convenient time zone wise. I just don't watch any European Dota ever. Everyone's I watch. Well then, we have Venomancer selected. That is certainly going to be our offline hero. Somehow I didn't mention that when I mentioned Filthy's hero pool of the other annoying green offlane hero, but looking at Snapfire, likely 4, Bane 5, Veno 3, Void Spirit in mid, Tiny carry. If nothing else, it's a fairly reliable draft for Polar Ass here.
Uh, yeah. They. It's like solid. It's not often that you say a draft is like solid with the Venomancer offlane because I don't think that's like a. And Veno is definitely the strong laning phase, and the hero's good at what it does, but it feels weird to call it solid. I think their draft is fine. I think Veno is actually pretty bad against Huskar for the most part. You have magic resistance now on your passive, and you're able to purge yourself every 12 seconds, and then 8 seconds when you get Ags, I think. It's 8 seconds when you get the 20 talent. No, it's 9 seconds when you get the 20 talent. But you're able to just self-purge yourself, and so that can remove a lot of the Veno DOTs. So as long as he doesn't get super crushed in the lane, which I think he shouldn't because he'll have Undying in his lane, I believe. Then he should have a very good game.
I think the odds are near 100% the Huskar will be buying the Ags this game too. I mean, Rook will buy it any game against any hero, so you'll almost certainly be seeing the Huskar Ags this game, which is actually very powerful for those who don't know. It just taunts the opponent, and I believe it reduces the cooldown by 4, which is...
Well, that's crazy. It does that? Holy shit.
And I know it taunts.
Oh, no. It gives you more cast range. Okay, so I can explain this actually. Yeah. It used to be that there was a cast range talent, and the Ags reduced the cooldown, but then they changed it so that there's a cooldown reduction talent, and then the Ags gives you the cast range.
Doesn't it also taunt you now?
Yeah, of course, of course.
That taunt thing is real. It's one of those things, like a lot of times the counterplay to Huskar is you use a spell or you use an item. Except if you're taunted, not really an option, so it's a very, very powerful act. We'll probably be seeing it third or fourth item. Possibly earlier if Rook's really feeling the hey, I am buying my Ags on Huskar early type item.
But if you're taunted and then disarmed from inner fire, that might as well be a son. Ooh, Venge.
Hey, we did see the Venge, not for the team we expected, but the Venge was selected. Well then.
Jimmy's not playing Huskar either.
Whoa, that is.
I know he likes Venge.
But I know he loves Huskar.
Yeah.
I'm surprised, but you know what?
I'm also surprised.
They like flexing it around, you know? I mean, Andy Bendy, Rook, Tint, they've all swapped to all 3 core roles at some point this season, so this is not too shocking that we're seeing now Andy Bendy playing the mid Huskar and Rook playing what is presumably a carry Vengeful Spirit, so should be fun.
Yeah. I think it might be mid Huskar. Oh, wait, sorry. That's literally the opposite of what you said, isn't it?
I said mid Huskar, yeah.
Oh, you did say mid Huskar? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, this Undying Venge lane could be really dangerous. At the same time, Venge could have a very bad lane against Venomancer. So it's gonna be up to Mortal, I think, to really set the pace for this lane. I think he is probably the player who decides if it goes Radiant's favor or Dire's favor.
I know he's comfortable playing this Undying, so he should be able to, at the very least, have a decent bit of impact on that hero this game, but I think looking at overall drafts, I feel like Polar Ass's drafts is a lot easier to play, so I prefer it, but I want to hear what your thoughts are on that one.
I like Pig Trotter's timing with the Huskar and the Core Venge with the Undying something behind it. So I'll say I like their draft more.
It's
I'm not
basically
sure who.
you and I view it the same way, except you believe Pig Trotters can hit their timing, and I'm more confident in Polar Ass to just weather the storm.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I'm not sure who I think is gonna win, but I like Dire's draft more.
Alright, we are now jumping into game number 1 of Polar Ass, taking on Pig Trotters. Winner goes to top 8 to play No Tyler 2.0. Loser joins me on the couch. My name is Badger. I'm joined, as always, by the one and only Logical Dota, and here we go. It's game 1 for our early bird special Lance playoff action, and I am already excited. I am very, very happy to be here right now. And the memes are already in the chats. Whole City telling his opponents to tread lightly. Do you know that reference?
Like vaguely. I don't know if that's the right word.
So, Sonagod streams his perspective on a lot of the games, and one of the regular season games, they were having some. She just smoke up from Dire. Is there enough time? Yeah, we're good. But there was a game where they were playing on Polar Ass, and the cons were not too happy. And Whole City was being called out for making a misplay, and he was like, tread very lightly, and that became a meme. So we're now seeing a D ward at the Radiant small camp. Mortal dropped Sentry Ward to block the small camp, and also got the Observer Ward of Whole City, so very fortunate for the Dire side, but that is where the tread lightly meme comes from.
This is a very, very educational moment, I think, right here. So if you're playing on Radiant, you don't want to put your ward anywhere in this area. And if you're playing on Dire, you don't want to put your ward like here. Or here sometimes. No, actually this one's fine. But it's very common for people to drop sentries to block your small camp now. And so by putting your ward here, they just get to see your observer ward when they come and do that. So it's generally you want to put it like anywhere from here, or like if you run really early, sometimes you can get on the enemy hill.
And particularly in these very organized environments where, you know, it's 5 guys in a Discord call doing draft prep, doing game prep. Like, they're probably gonna block your camp if you're a big small camp enjoyer, and Whole City is certainly a small camp enjoyer.
And there's like pretty much every hero in the game farms a small camp at this point, unless you're like Quaswex Invoker.
Radiant Jungle, not quite sure what's going on, but Nephilim and Sauce appear to be interested in man fighting. Neither will die unless they just keep fighting for the next hour or so, but I guess they're just both slowly dying. Nephilim is winning the trade, Sauce is arrow in 4. And I don't believe anyone dies from this still.
Yeah. Sauce wanted to trade because he has a Wraith Band, which is the best item that you can buy with starting items for trading, except for like consumables. And then Nephilim was fine trading because he's Bane, so it didn't matter that he spent 500 gold on a trading item because he just naturally does it better.
We're seeing it now. Morana actually has relatively low regen, which means that if you're Tint in this lane, it might be a rough time as Nephilim can probably just hit the Mars, or at least hit the Morana once again. Arrow actually hits Sonagod, but that is a low consequence arrow. I believe one last it was missing because of it.
Yeah, I think Sauce was shooting at the range creep and he ate it so that the range didn't die. I don't think that's super necessary in this lane because Mars is probably going to get the range creep anyways. Just
Spears,
with
a
the
lot of
spells.
damage. Always a lot of damage.
I think they're actually Radiant could have denied it if they're really on top of their stuff, but generally the way this Mars Marana lane works is Marana just kind of shoots arrows at neutrals, and Mars can secure the range creeps for himself, or the Marana just like holds on to arrow to save for fights. Because if you use it on neutral, then a lot of times the other team will just go on you hard.
I am being told that Andy Bendy also loves Huskar, which I did not know. I wonder which of the brothers started loving Huskar first, whether it was Andy or Jim. Apparently, they're
Tell
both
you.
Huskar lovers.
And speaking of Huskar, this mid lane is like over already. When you're playing against Huskar, you really need your first 3 waves to go well, and Andy has 7 denies.
That is an excessive amount of denies, and it's not going to get any better for Whole City until he has level 6, which will be very delayed because A, his small camp is blocked, and B, he's losing his lane.
I mean, Andy is a fucking insane player. I mean, I don't mean like he is very good, but he also will just like throw sometimes for fun, recreationally.
It's one of those things
So
where the way he views Dota is very interesting, if nothing else. I'm sure you play Andy Bendy a good bit as well. He has a very interesting view in the way Dota's supposed to be played. And they'll make these like really aggressive plays, thinking they're the way to play the map the best way. And I wouldn't be shocked if like he suicides for a tier 2 tower later on in the game. That's the Andy Bendy player right there.
yeah, but what I meant with that is like I think whole city's out for this lane right now is he has to like bait Andy Bendy to dive him and die to a support rotation at like level 6. Oh,
First blood top lane, a little bit shocked. Ends up being a trade. So we saw a lot of trading top lane. Apparently I missed all of it, but now Filski's being run at by Immortal. Tombstone is over. So it seems like Tombstone was dropped, ended up being a 1-for-1 trade, the Venge for the Snapfire, which the Radiant committed in for that Venge kill, knowing they would lose First Blood, but somehow I missed it entirely.
that's
I mean,
really bad for Dire, I'll say, because well, first of all, I mean, obviously it's Venge for Snapfire, so that's a bad trade. Even though the Undying gets first blood, because the Snapfire died first, that means Venge or Veno got solo XP for the Venge kill, and so Veno has a very good game now, almost level 4. And as the Veno gets levels, it's gonna be harder and harder for Dire to lane here. The Snapfire doesn't really care about her game too much, and Snapfire is already at, like super high level somehow. What the hell?
alright, I'm now seeing how they got this kill top lane. The Gale plus the Cookie is a lot of CC. Undying actually almost just died there, and well, I guess top lane, it's looking pretty good for the Radiant side now, and we're seeing some very polarizing lanes in terms of mid lane's very one-sided, top lane's very one-sided, though, in the other team's direction. It's really this bottom lane that's been somewhat even. Tiny and Mars are fairly even in terms of the CS there, and you mentioned the importance of Mortal in this top lane. Do you think Mortal has not been necessarily playing the lane correctly, or is this one of those very hard lanes to play into the Vano Snapfire?
Definitely very hard to play against 2 ranged heroes as Undying, but I think you need to once again the like first couple of waves are really important. I think it's a really big deal that you're able to either secure denies with your high base damage, or you're able to just do a lot of damage with Venge stun plus decays. Now though, it's like really hard for Rook to lane. You can see he's like pulling for himself, and even though he has 25 last hits, it's still depressing to be the Venge here.
That's
Because
the he's getting some denies from the pole camp, but he's being contested by a Chelamel Snapfire. The Filsky Veno is just sitting in the actual lane right now. It's a very happy Veno, so it's very bad.
yeah, he's that higher last hits right now, but if the lane continues at the pace that it's going, then yeah.
And the
this is
pace
gonna happen.
continues. Cookie will slow. Venge is very slowed. Tombstone is dropped, but Venge's life will be forfeit. Question is, will there be a trade? Mortal still has Tombstone, but it's already dead. Cello is low. Mortal wants to kill. He has DK in 1, but he accepts that he cannot get the kill there. Instead, he turns to Filsky. Filsky's also still alive, so there's no kill at all. Gale now slows Mortal's Undying. In comes Cookie. In come more right clicks. Little Shredder reduces that armor once again, and Mortal is trying to survive, but his life too is forfeit. That's now 3 kills in this top lane for Cello and Filsky, and they're owning right now.
Yeah. And thankfully for Rook, Venge is not like you don't need to have a crazy game with Venge really. You'd like your laning phase to be good. And it looks like he's dead again.
One more kill top lane, and this time he will not have a TP scroll. He'll put a magic missile on Cello with his dying breath, but it's futile. And now mid lane, Andy Bendy is diving for Whole City. Whole City dissimulates to the east side, getting away from Andy Bendy, but these are 2 very one-sided lanes. I mean, mid lane, all Huskar, top lane, all Radiant dual lane.
Even okay, bottom lane is not that bad. Well, because it was just that Sonic hadn't sent out his courier yet, so he looked really poor. But they're still doing well bottom lane. Like Dyer's winning bottom somehow, even after kind of the rough first 30 seconds that we saw.
I just want to point out, Andy Bendy has 26 denies. About half the creeps that can be denied have been denied. That is... I mean, you're seeing it now. Void Spirit's barely 6, Huskar's almost 8. It's nearly a 2-level delta there between the Huskar and the Void Spirit. That is unbelievable.
I like the way that he's playing it too. You shouldn't really commit for a kill on Void Spirit, because if he's keeping his spells correctly, then you'll never really kill him. But what he should do is he should pressure the Void Spirit when he comes up for creeps, and then you should go over here and farm his small camp, and then come back and pressure him again.
Mid lane, a fight certainly will occur. It's a 3v2. They want Andy Bendy's Huskar. Tombstone is dropped. Andy Bendy is low. Stepped in by Whole City. Whole City, he wants this kill. Arrow is missed by Sauce, I believe, and now Andy Bendy drops. Arrow she hit on Nephilim's Bane, and now Dire want the Bane at the very least. Marana will grab that kill, but it's a very good trade for the Radiant. They trade the big Huskar, and now it's Morkis' drop, looking for Undying. Whole City is chasing as Remnant in 3. Undying is very low, and he will eventually drop if Whole City hits his spells. Arrow, it's a short stun, but it's a long enough stun to bring down the Undying. And now, that is going to be a 2-for-1 trade. Huskar and Undying for the Bane. Radiant may have just turned around this middle lane entirely.
It's nice for Whole City, but I think he's gonna need a lot more still to have like a very solid game. Nephilim TP is back in to refill his bottle. Now though, that play doesn't really work a second time because he has the armlet. Now you need like a... I don't even know who you need to TP rotate because you don't really have heroes that kill Huskar. You need a Vessel Venomancer rotation.
He's got the urn currently, but no Vessel quite yet. Mid lane, Whole City. He's playing with fire, but did not get burned this time. Over to Undying and Bane. They're in a D-Ward war, and Bane wins the D-Ward war, but will lose the life war. He will drop the Burning Spear's damage.
That was close. He almost got denied by the creeps there.
That would have been nice, but alas, did not occur.
Radiant is still... Actually, I guess Radiant's up 1k gold because the top lane.
It's their entire goals, and their entire lead is in this top lane. Veno 5k net worth, Venge 3k net worth. That is literally all of your net worth lead and more at this point. You mentioned Venomancer with the Vessel, though, in order to kill this Huskar, and good arrow mid lane to no effect, but the Veno Vessel will not be that far away. I mean, he's got Hood Urn, and he's working on the Vessel. He's sure, a good 1.6, 1.7k gold away, but that won't be that long.
Mortal pressed Flesh Golem to have more strength to hit this bottom tower.
Interesting. Over to mid lane, Arrow will miss as Andy Bendy tried to bring down Filsky. Filsky is tanky. Over to bot lane, meanwhile, it's Whole City and Nephilim trying to bring down Mortal. He's in that Flesh Golem form, as you mentioned, but he is slept. He is dissimulated upon with the DD rune on Void Spirit Undying. Will not be long for life. Doesn't even drop the Tombstone. He accepts the inevitable, dying to Nephilim's Bane there. T1 tower, denied? It will get denied, okay.
He could have fucked him up if he dropped the tombstone really early. They took him a really long time to kill. He's actually really strong for this point of the game right now. Like he's having a pretty fine game, despite the fact that his I don't know, despite the fact that the top lane went so tragically.
I think both he and the Radiant team thought he would die faster. He's like, oh, yeah, I'm still alive. Turns out the name Undying actually was not an oxymoron this time. Well, we're on key item watch for Polar Ass right now. We're waiting on the key tiny items. That will be Echo plus the Shard. And we are waiting on the Venno Vessel. And we are not far from either. Venno, 1k from Vessel. Tiny. About 1,500 gold from both Shard plus Echo at minute 15. And that is going to be scary. Top lane, Rook may be in danger. Maybe not. He was run out by Sonagod, but no kill there.
I'm surprised he didn't try for it either. I think there is a decent chance he could have gotten it.
Maybe he was scared of the not showing Dire Heroes, but I guess if he was that scared, he wouldn't have shown in the first place.
Bench is deceptively tanky. Like the hero's got 12 armor right now, but Tiny does a lot of damage still.
And it seems like Jim knows something is up. He pig pulls away from what was a Void Spirit and Snapfire in the trees. Good decision there.
Blink on Mars now, but it's getting scouted by the Invis Bane that dropped the sentries and no longer Invis. Radiant's getting a lot more of them. Yeah, Radiant is getting significant part of the map right now. I think Dire has to farm this this bottom jungle if they aren't planning on taking a fight, which I think is a little bit difficult to take a fight into a Venno that's this strong. They should really de-ward this bottom area and get people playing here. Otherwise, they're just going to get out-farmed. Because Radiant's taking over their jungle right now and just farming it with their heroes.
Yeah, there's a lot of farm going to the Radiant. Look at the areas. You mentioned how much Radiant are farming. Mid lane, though, Dire looking for a kill. Perhaps the kill might change their fortunes. Arena, Spear, Arrow. That will be at the bring down Filski. Tint, maybe the trade. He's dropping low to Venno's damage. Grip comes in on Morana. Boros kisses are popped. Whole city steps on down. Mars is now dead, but Radiant want more kills. They bring down Rook's Venge, and now Mortal has TP'd in. Tombstone is dropped. Arrow will hit on Whole City as Andy Bendy goes in on Shallow Mellow. The life drain damage far too much there, and it will end up being a 2-for-2 trade. Certainly a very interesting... I think it's a relatively interesting trade that ended up being somewhat even, but we are now back to farming.
You're happy about that if you're a Dire. You finally make something happen and you kill the Venno. The Venno kill is like super big. Venno kill is way more important than your carry dying because Venge is like effectively an offlane Venge at this point, which isn't a bad thing. This hero does not, like as I said, this hero does not have some kind of crazy timing to hit. And as long as you get your ags, then your hero is gonna do pretty much the same thing. Like there's a reason this hero gets played as an offlaner more than it gets played as a carry. Doesn't farm particularly fast.
Well, seems like Sauce might go down, but the same might be true of Filski. Filski has been life broken upon by Andy Bendy. An arrow from longer range by Sauce with his dying breath. He accepted his death, threw out the arrow, and brought down Filski. What a play right there.
Oh, it was pretty unfortunate. The Nightmare was a second. It was not a second. It was like a 0.1 seconds too early, so he gets hit at the very end of the arrow. After the Nightmare 0.75 second invulnerability runs out.
I'm just happy for Sauce.
For sure.
He knew he was dead. You managed to get a kill out of it somehow, which is amazing.
Yeah, he's having a pretty fine game. 3-on-0, level 8.5. So yeah, he's doing okay. I'm a little bit surprised he's not going this Yapsor build, but I think that it's definitely still more experimental.
What is
do you know
the
what I'm talking
Yapsor?
about?
I have no. What is the Yapsor build?
He doesn't scale Starstorm the entire game pretty much. So he goes 0-4-4 stats and then treads Diffusal, and he just leaps on people. He just shoots arrows and then jumps on people and burns their mana.
That sounds pretty experimental to me, but we are seeing multiple moves being made. It's Huskar and Bane fighting the Radiant jungle, though. Grip comes in on Huskar. Mornos kisses the follow-up. Can Huskar get away from this one? He'll life break in. He wants kills. but Radiant are cutting him around. Bane has dropped, but it will be a trade for Huskar. As that happens, the Dire collapsed on mid lane on Hull City, who is left alone thanks to Huskar. Mars links in, he spears out the Filski. Filski is dead as well. It is a 3-for-1 trade. Huskar for 2 cores and a Bane. Now it's a swap as well on Sonagot. Sonagot is in the middle of a bunch of heroes. He's trying to fight, but he's already half HP. Spear latches him to that tree. Sonagot will drop. Triple kill for Mortal on the Undying. And that Team 1 tower will live, but it's still a massive teamfight win for the side of Pig Trotters.
I'll tip Sonagot if I was Dire. That's really unfortunate. Like, the way that these carry heroes kind of come back into the game, for the most part, is you just, like, try to farm as much as you can, and then taking, like, the first fight that you take after farming for a long time is always really important. So this was Tiny's, like, the first fight that he's taken with his team, and not only did it not go well for him, he just, like, died without getting any kills, which is kind of a big deal, because he also, like, lost that golden XP lead effectively because he died and gave Dire that bounty.
It is a spear on Bane. Radiant tried a bit of a dive there with Whole City, but now they're just going to lose some heroes. Bane is already dead. Whole City drops as well, and that was very unfortunate. I believe the Astral Remnant hit a creep there that walked by. It messed up the Yule's Remnant combo, and now it could have maybe a 1-for-1 turns into a 2-for-0. And it's suddenly Pig Trotters. They have really found their footing in this game. They have a very online Huskar, and their Venge and Mars are ready to fight.
Yeah, they are playing really well together. Just like layering all their stuns correctly, casting their abilities very well. It's funny because the Huskar was like the one having the crazy good game in the early game, 27 denies, but now he's the one who's kind of not really doing anything for Dire. Even the Venge who had that terrible laning stage has just been active in these fights. Been casting stuns, got a good swap on the Tiny.
I like that Huskar is dragging so much attention towards them. Like you saw in the Radiant jungle, 3 heroes immediately left the mid lane to go on Huskar, and that left Whole City alone. That's where a lot of this last fight even happened there.
Yeah, it's you don't always want to do that if you're a carry. Filski looks dead.
Yeah, Filski is incredibly dead. Arena, Tombstone, Arrow, more than enough. What you were saying before that?
You don't always want to do that if you're a carry hero, because deaths on your hero matter a lot more than any other. But you don't super mind it. And Huskar is timing based, but if you have a bad game on Huskar and are just like kind of meh farmed, you don't really hit your timings that well, then the hero isn't super terrible. Even as long as you have a couple of key items, you can still do what you need
from Whole City, and now he steps in for Tint. This is a crazy play here, and now it's Mortimer's Kisses going on Rook. Rook cancels it with his magic missile, but that will cost him his life, perhaps. Perhaps not. Guess it's the power of Venjags. You just walk into 3 heroes with no care of death.
They didn't feel like killing him. Yeah. This, I mean, the Venge is almost online. You just need the shard. And then, yeah, actually, you probably need a little bit more hero levels as well. You'd like the 15 talent, and you'd like max magic missile. And then you're set. This is like all this hero needs for the entire game, pretty much.
Yeah, this net worth lead for Dire, it's getting bigger. And, well, Radiant seem to have some idea something is going wrong with the game. They've smoked up as 3. It's Nephilim, Whole City, and Cello Mellow. As that happens, Arrow will barely miss mid lane. They see 2 cores on Dire. Whole City steps in, finds Morana and the Mars. The target will be Morana, who drops instantly. Tombstone is dropped. Dire thought they were fighting, but instead it's a swap there on Tiny under the mid T1 tower. Radiant comes in, but it's missed entirely. And now Dire have used a lot of key abilities. The Venge is slept, but he still has the will to fight. He has that Ags. But he still cannot die. Now Sonagot will bring down the first Venge. The illusion is online. He may go for a swap play here. He'll swap in the Tiny, into Huskar. Huskar wants to bring down Tiny, but he's tossed over towards the Bane. The grip is there on Huskar. Huskar is low. Can they kill him? No, they cannot. He's still fighting. Nephilim dead. Andy Bendy is one massive Huskar. Whole City low. Whole City might just drop now. Filski, Cello, they're being gone. The stun on Huskar isn't enough. He's still alive. The inner fire. The spears. My lord. This man is unkillable. And he is going in again. Poison Nova, it's dropped! But no, Filski 2 will drop. The arrow from long range, just off. But Tint, Rook, they want the fight. The spear has hit. The Bane is dead. And Pig Trotters, what a beautiful fight.
That was really good. I mean, they managed to keep their Tiny alive, but they just weren't able to kill that Huskar. That life break, just constantly purging himself, was so big in that team fight. The Veno has a Vessel, but it has a 7-second cooldown, and the Huskar was just saving his ult to purge the Vessel. So he only had like 5 seconds where the Vessel was actually on the Huskar, and that is not enough time to kill him, really, at this stage of the game. Really nice BKB reveal from Andy Bundy.
He's just so unkillable.
The magic resistance as well from Berserker's Blood reduces Vessel damage, reduces all the Veno damage, Void Spirit damage as well. So, hero's really good.
Well, in situations ordinarily you toss a guy into 4 heroes, you grip him, he'll die, but no. Not this game. Not this game. And we're at the point where suddenly Big Trotters are no longer in a winning position. They are in the driver's seat entirely. They're feeling real good right now. They still have plenty of things to grab. All the tier 2 towers are still alive, but I'm sure at some point quite soon it will be time to run it down the lane. Perhaps this bottom lane and grabbing this bottom tier 2 tower, but Polar Ass, they're going for a bit of a play here in the dire side jungle. Sonic God looks for a soul kill on Rook. Avalanche, Toss. The hits are decent, but not quite enough. Filsky, Nephilim are on the rendezvous, but they're just too slow to get there in time. Now in come Dire.
Really
they
bad.
TP in. Venge will lose 1 life, but she still is ready to fight. Rita comes in. They're on 2. Filsky, Nephilim on the inside. Sonigod is low. Sonigod will drop. Nephilim, Sonigod gets away with the invis, so it will be Nephilim and Filsky dead. Dust comes out, but actually misses on Sonigod. So it ends up being a 2-for-1 trade, but they still want the Tiny. They're hunting. A second Dust is missed. Sonigod actually gets away. Very big escape there on Tiny, but Dire, they want to fight still. They're pinging the Radiant Tri-Camp, where Whole City and Chellenville are. They will not find any heroes there. It ends up being a 2-for-1 exchange.
That's very fortunate for Sonigod. Gets away with murder, but I mean, not really. He just killed the Venge, so it's not really that big of a deal. Oh, the Venge is gonna respawn.
Venge is back, but so are the entirety of the Radiant. Arrow will cancel Mortimer's kisses as Dire have 4. The swap is in on Cello as Sonigod drops to Rook's damage, and now Cello 2 will drop 2 kills for Rook. And they move to Filsky on the Veno. Is there a stun? Venge stun. Arrow. More than enough. Whole City tries to salvage the fight. The grip is now over. The Veno is dead. Whole City steps in for more damage, but Rook is still fighting. Brainsap brings down the real Venge, but the illusion is back, bringing down both Bane and Void Spirit. That will be a full 5-man wipe, and it will be another big team fight win for Big Trotters.
Yeah, that's the second, that's the second 5-for-1 pretty much team fight that they took. They took another one in the mid lane as well, where they were able to kill the Venge, but that was pretty much it. So the game is really hard for Radiant all of a sudden. They just lost 2 fights, but now this Huskar is closing in on Satanic. All the Dire heroes have their timings. Yeah, I'm not really sure what you do. Your Void Spirit's still extremely poor, doesn't really do anything except for Yule's Remnant, a hero, but your team doesn't really have enough damage to make that catch worth it. He kind of needed to have a game of his own to actually cause disruption in this team fight. These team fights.
I think notably the last team fight, it had no Huskar in it. But despite Huskar being the #1 net worth Aegis hero, he wasn't there. Did 0 damage, took 0 damage, and they still won the fight heavily, and now it's actually a swap on Veno under a tier 2 tower. Tint and Andy Bendy arrive. Filsky is dead. Nephilim 2 will drop to the Tint damage, and now Whole City's being gone on by Undying and Huskar. Nephilim is now dead. Whole City is dropping. The Soul Rip brings down the Void Spirit. So it's 3 more kills for Big Trotters, and I believe it is time to walk it up high ground and take some barracks.
Yeah, they should call it on Radiant. I mean, they can take one last fight. This is depressing though to watch. See the Huskar with the Aegis hitting your buildings.
The long range swap. That is a very long range swap. Oh my!
Aether Lens level 3. That is quite long range. She doesn't even have the shard on Venge. I'm surprised. I know. Jimmy was telling me about Octarine Core on this hero because it works on the illusion, I think, for some reason. So he's been telling me about this for a very long time since Vengeags has been what it is, which is at least a year.
It's another swap again on Void Spirit. Whole city is dead. Filski will try to fight, but I believe that one is futile. Maybe he'll get the real Venge, but Venge still wants to play Dota with the illusion, and now it's a stun on Sonagod. Andy Bendy is in. He has 2 lives. He might not even need 2 lives. Down goes Sonagod. The Rockman is dead. It's another swap. This time on Nephilim, who gets destroyed by the God's Rebuke. It's another kill for Pig Trotters, sure. This Venge is dying, quote unquote, but despite it saying dead for 49 seconds, she still has impact. And that's the problem right now, is Polar Ass cannot kill anything but this Venge, who is just a not worthy kill.
They're just gonna keep doing this on Dyra as well. They're just gonna like, yeah, they took the top lane, now just go mid. They don't have Aegis, but what are you supposed to do? Actually, this is Radiant's one opportunity this game. I think they really need to somehow win this fight. They have a lot of spells, so they need to get Huskar to BKB.
Another swap. Ooh, he gets away in time to summon. The arrow's perfect from Salt onto the Assimilate. Wow! And now tint the arena. It's there on Venomancer. Veno likely will drop, and they know it's over. They've called the GG.
Yeah, really well played by Dire. I mean, even though the top lane went really badly for them, it didn't matter. They played around the mid lane really nicely. The Huskar had 30 denies, like minute 8, and then they just kind of snowballed that into their lead. Even with the Veno being top net worth minute 10, it just wasn't enough. You kind of do like need a very good counter to Huskar if you want to beat the hero. Like this is like a crazy good Huskar game, and they did pick it on 18, so they only had 1 counter to it. But the Void Spirit was not good enough, I think. You either need something that can like hit it at a distance, and then you hope that you can just like get a lot of items, and that you're able to kill the Huskar, or like get to a point where you can consistently kill the Huskar before he has his Ags and he's just jumping you every fight. Or you need to be able to like Giga Burst the Huskar and go chase him in his jungle so he has a shitty BKB timing. And then his like entire game is ruined. But they didn't really have either of those this game.
I think Pig Trotters might have the recipe to beat this Polar Ass team. Like, Polar Ass, what are they known for? For taking these really long, drawn-out mid to late game team fights. You want to know who avoid a team who's good at mid to late game team fights? Win the game in 26 minutes.
Yeah.
Run it down lanes and just shove it in their face until they call it GG.
GWR.
We do need to get the right side, though. We have Polar Ass with choice for game 2.
So the Venge pick was very good though at 24. I think it helped out the Huskar a lot, gave him great catch. I don't even think he ended up swapping the Huskar that game, but you can swap the Huskar to give him a little bit of damage resistance, save him as well. But it's mostly just the fact that it was an active hero that was good catch for the Huskar. And I mean, the Vendora as well is like kind of nice, but not really that big of a deal.
Man, this is Venture. I am high on Venge. I'm so high on Venge right now.
Yeah, he was.
I'm a vengeful spirit enjoyer.
He was 3.2k net worth in minute 10, but had a good showing last game.
Apparently, low net worth cannot stop Venge from doing things. This Aghanim Scepter just appears to be quite powerful right now.
I also think Polar Ass was unfamiliar playing against it, because like as we saw on that smoke, or I don't even know if it was smoke, but the kill attempt in the Dire jungle where the Tiny went on the Venge, he like wasn't able to insta kill the Venge, and then he stayed a little bit too long. So even after he killed the Venge, he like he should have died really to the Venge illusion that came after in the TP rotations. But I mean, he made it out, but the rest of his team died anyways, and he should have died as well if they had any detection.
10 seconds remaining.
I'm at the point now where I'm really excited for how Polar Ass draft here.
5 seconds remaining.
Like I know you mentioned the first phase bans and picks a lot in terms of how teams feeling mentally, and I'm excited to see if they run it back with a similar strat or if they just completely mix it up here.
What they pick again? They pick Tiny, and honestly, maybe a hot take. I feel like you need to know what you're doing to win with Tiny, because like the hero is good, but unless you hit the timings, hero's not that amazing. Like it's like solid as a carry. Okay, hero's really good,
10
but
seconds remaining.
it feels lacking unless you have a really good game
5
with it,
seconds
or unless
remaining.
there's like no heroes that are good against you, which is pretty rare. Because if you want Tiny, normally you have to pick it early. It does a lot of damage, but it's really easy to kite.
One of those things too where Tiny's one of those heroes where like you have one bad fight when you hit your timing, that really delays. Like say Sonic got came to that first fight right with his shard and his Echo Saber. Say he wins that fight, right? Maybe that game looks differently. Maybe he gets 3 kills rather instead of walking in and dying. So maybe that's the sort of difference there. And I guess Pig Trotters they'll have their chance at Tiny. So you know what? We have 5 pick. Tiny is not banned. Let us select Tiny. Polar Ass, they have some options. I mean, Omniite's not banned. A number of good heroes are not banned. And they will snap pick the Omniites.
Oh, okay. They banned Undying, left Omni in the pool. Then Pig Trotters took Tiny. Okay, so what other heroes were picked? This one in the game there was Mars.
10 seconds
Yeah, that
remaining.
was Mars. Okay.
Radiant team picked.
DK. Interesting.
Speaking of Filski here, that's a snap pick. Turns out they can play the IO. I didn't know that. Maybe I
Interested
should
to see
have.
who's gonna play it. Uh, it's still hard. Like I'm a little bit concerned because Pig Trotter support players are not the highest MMR.
Radiant team banned.
Yeah, they have one of, if not, I think they have like the second or third lowest average MR support duo in the league, behind like Karan's team. So it's pretty low.
Kronstein was like lowest average everything.
Yeah, they
MMR wise.
were. They have like a 5.5k average team, maybe even lower than
10
that.
seconds remaining.
You know, when
They
Karan's like
won
1k
games.
higher than the rest of the players on your team.
5 seconds
They
remaining.
won games, didn't they? Like a couple.
I don't know how, dude.
Okay.
No flame, but I don't know how. I think they won like 5 or 6 games, and I'm not entirely sure how that happens. But back to the actual draft at hand. We mentioned Filski heroes in game 1 draft. I know what a Filski hero is? Dragon Knight. That is one Filski hero right there.
I can believe it. Strength hero, tanky, has a stun.
Can't even buy Midas if he wants to. There's a lot of Filski in there. I know Filski is a big Dragon Knight enjoyer, which to me is baffling, but you know he's a fan of playing it.
10 seconds remaining.
The hero's kind of fun now that you can get a shard at 15. Like if you have a really good game on DK, you can have like Tread Soaring Blink at like minute 11, minute 12, and then you get some towers. You can have your shard by 15, and people have started to catch on to the fact that the shard is really good on this hero. One shot the creep wave. Hero can be fun. I think there's a lot of things that people are learning. You don't just have to go blink BKB into whatever defensive items into eventually Ags, and then you turn into a core hero 50 minutes in the game. You can there are different ways to play the hero. You can play a little bit greedier. People have been experimenting with Aether Lens as well, just for like better initiations. Occasionally upgrade into Octarine Core. Overwhelming Blink, fun item, very good.
A lot of fun options this game for the Dragon Knights, but you see
Feels
Pig
boring though.
Trotters. You mentioned last game they banned out heroes that are not fun to play against, and they've done the exact same thing.
10 seconds
Fat Rider, Viper, Bane. A little surprised they banned Viper because I feel like Pig Trotters might even want to select Viper themselves to break the DK, but so you know what? We don't want it. We don't want you having it. Get out.
So that means Necro is still in the pool. I forgot what other hero they've been.
It was Necro and oh god, I'm on it. It was Necro and Timbersaw, but it's
Yeah,
Polar
yeah.
Ass who instead banned out Timbersaw.
5 seconds remaining.
Guess it is a pretty decent Timbersaw game. I mean, there are 4 strength heroes out of 4 selected so far, so it's a good chance we'll have like a 5, 6, maybe even 7 strength hero game on our hands here.
Radiant team
Yeah. Yeah, what's Timber side? Okay.
Speaking of not
Weaver.
a strength hero, it's Weaver.
This hero's still really good. The Axe nerf was a big deal, though. The Axe nerf was a big deal. Unfortunately, they didn't really do anything about bugs.
seconds remaining.
And so that spell is still bullshit.
5 seconds remaining.
And the Shard is still pretty good as well. I mean, it's always one of the shards where it does 3 things and all 3 are good, but you mentioned Necro didn't get banned, and lo and behold, Necro has been selected. That's some real powerful heroes on Pig Trotters. We need to hear 3 of the best heroes of the patch, Tiny, Io, Necro, and they're all selected. And if they can execute the way the pros are in terms of like macro strategy, this is going to be a fantastic game for Radiant.
5 seconds.
They have some good heroes, but now they need some heroes to like bring their draft together. They need someone with like a real stun and like some real catch. Because Carry Tiny is like very bad catch. You like don't buy a blink until way after it matters, and then your stun is very short range as well. And normally you have to wait as well because you don't want to just like go Shadow Blade into Sundry Wards. So they're going to need like a real catch hero. And Necro is good, but it kind of suffers from the same problem. All right, that's like kind of a catch hero.
They're ready to run back the Venge. Could be Venge support, could be Venge core. If it's core, probably offlane with a Necro mid. But they have options. I mean, they can go where they want to go with this hero in terms of draft flexibility.
I like the Dusa pick.
I do too.
It could get worked though. I think Pig Trotters have the like earlier, stronger timing again, and it's like impossible for Polar Ass to deal with as long as Pig Trotters execute. But
10 seconds remaining.
and this is Dusa like at a certain point with like Manta, Scotty
5 seconds remaining.
plus 1.5 items will be super impossible to deal with unless Pig Trotters have an insane gold lead.
They have great tools to keep Medusa alive as well. I mean, Weaver Ags, Omni Everything. That's a lot of ways of keeping this very innately tanky hero alive for just that much longer. So,
Team ban.
maybe if they like, get a key swap in on Medusa or get a key swap in on like an Omni Knight, they can disrupt that team fight engine. But this is a Polar Ass are comfortable. They get these grandiose team fight execution lineups where they're good in the late game, and it's like, all right, beat us before the late game happens. We saw game 1, Pig Trotters can do it, but this game there is no Huskar. It'll be the Tiny instead to do so.
I hope the Pig Trotters picks a stun hero and puts the Venge support, to be honest.
10 seconds remaining.
I mean, if they want to go for a mid lane stunner, the spirits are available. If they want to go for an off lane stunner, well, there's every off lane in the game pretty much has a stun, so plenty of stunning heroes available for Pig Trotters if they want to do that. Or they could go Venge 3 and grab a stunning support. Shaman, Lion, not banned. Earth Spirit, not banned. Don't think they play it, but there's a lot of stunners available there.
Mm-hmm. I would like... Honestly, I'd like it if it was Tiny carry and then Venge laned with the Tiny, and then they had Io Necro in a lane. And then, like, Sand King mid. I think it would be my suggestion. Wisp Necro is really OP. I don't really know what I'm talking about it because it's almost definitely not going to happen. But when you press Q and you have a Wisp next to you, as Necro, you heal yourself and then you heal the Wisp as well, which heals you again because of Tether. Very durable lane.
It's really hard to remove the Necro from the lane. You have to like somehow kill the IO, but once again, killing the IO is harder when the Necro is healing the IO. It just has a great synergy there. It pairs very well.
Yeah, I mean, Dire Safe Lane doesn't do damage either. It's Omni Knight and Medusa. Like, they have this weird level 1 timing where Omni's pretty strong at trading with Hammer of Charity. But aside from that, until Medusa gets like level 3, level 4 Snake, they don't really do anything. They just try to hit creeps and play passively. And Necrophos is really good at abusing that. Because even when Medusa hits level 3 Snake, the Necro's still just going to bully you out of lane. Especially when you get like Reaper and levels after that.
Player team pick.
Usually by then.
Oh, I'm so good.
Wow. Pulse on the draft of Pig Trotters. We have Sand King. You said mid. That is to be determined. But that is, you mentioned Stunner. You mentioned Sand King. You have grabbed Sand King, who is most certainly a Stunner.
10
I
seconds.
would really like it if it was Sand King mid, because I mean personally I think that hero is best as a mid hero, and then like offlane's also very good, and the rest of all roles or whatever. But I think this hero thrives as a mid laner, and also I think that Necro Wisp could actually pressure the Dusa. Meanwhile, with like Sand King Venge, it'll just be a trade farm. Polar S needs a mid hero though, almost certainly. I think they have a lot of options.
They have. I mean, there's actually very few mid heroes that have been banned this game, so.
Well, I was gonna say Pugna would banned.
Oh, other than Pugna, but basically every other mid hero that's not called Pugna or like Bat Rider is available right now. All the spirits, Puck, Queen of Pain, all available.
Pop's pretty good, I think. Uh, Quap's good. Winter Wyvern is good. That's kind of a fake mid hero though, fella.
I know Whole City likes some like off meta middle laners. I know he's played Axe before, so wouldn't be unheard of to have like an Axe Sand King lane go Axe's direction.
There's a lot of good mid heroes for them, but I think I don't really particularly like the spirits. Okay, that hero works. I like it.
Whole City Invoker, okay. Definitely not known for playing the Invoker, but he can play it. Not sure what orbs he's going to skill, but you know we'll be on orb watch for.
I have a good feeling he's gonna skill Pink Orb. I feel like he doesn't have the swagger to skill Red Orb. I think.
Yeah, Whole City is definitely a red orb gamer, dude. He is.
No shot.
He has a Whole City is. A
You said
very
he doesn't play Invoker, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely. There's no way he skills. I'll put money on it. There's no way he skills Green Orb.
Well, of course, he can't skill in Green Orb. There is no Green Orb.
Sorry, I meant Red Orb. You're right. I'll put money on the fact that he's not skilling Red Orb right now.
I really want to take the bet, but I'm not going to.
Remaining.
Okay.
I think he's going red orb. But look at the overall draft here.
Remaining.
I mean, it's a similar sort of concept to last game, where Pig Trotters have a very strong timing. Polras have the late game. You still feeling Pig Trotters again?
Yeah, I like their draft still. Rook is on Sand King, so I don't really know what that means, but yeah, still like their draft more. I think the Tiny is going to have to like. I think the Invoker was a good pick. It'll do a lot for Polar S early game. I think still though that the Tiny is going to farm really fast with the Wisp behind him, and this Necrophos is going to have a really good landing phase. Sand King is also going to get what he needs, and then they're just going to be able to run around and chase heroes again. And Polar S's fight, like they don't really do damage. The Weaver has to do all the damage, which is really not something that you want to hear. Being asked of your position for Weaver, unless the Invoker like goes crazy, then Dire is going to struggle this game, in my opinion. Or if Radiant throws.
I hear your argument, and it's very logical. It makes sense, no pun intended. But I'm feeling Polar S right now. I think they're going to learn from their mistakes the last game. They're going to take one key team fight and drag the game on. And once this game drags on, they're a very good late game fighting team. They have the Omni, they have the Dusa. So against possibly better judgment, I'm going to favor Polar S here.
I'm so sure she's killing Pink Orb. I mean, I'll watch. This is all typically what I do. These League of Legends games, they have Invoker, but
Prepare for battle.
he doesn't even have a branch to eat. He does have DK. That's like the only reason. Even still though, like his team needs the catch. He's got support Omni Knight Weaver, and he's also just like playing against Necrophos, which is like kind of a big deal. Crosswalk is a lot better against Necro than Exord.
Everything you're saying is making sense, and if I were a thinking man, I would agree with you, but
Yeah.
I'm feeling the red orb.
No, I mean that's the thing. Like I can, as long as I like have an idea, I can make it sound correct, even if it's like.
Smoke on
Not
4,
correct.
finding Medusa, and Medusa actually just walks away, never mind.
Wait.
Oh, the burrow just in range! That Actually, still not enough. Now, Mystic Snake is the turn. Pink Orb is skilled. EMP hits on 3, and now it's Nephilim trying to manfly, but in comes Andy Bendy. He has arrived on Necro. Nephilim is low. Nephilim might just drop. One more hit will do it. Tint grabs first blood. In comes the Snake, trying to bring down Rook and Sauce. They're both solo, but both still alive thanks to Necrophos. And now, it's 1 kill for Pig Trotters. A lot of damage for Polar Ass, but still no kill. And I believe there'll be a 2-for-2 rune exchange after that. I believe. I am correct.
That was pretty unfortunate. If Radiant is watching this cast back, when you go for this kind of a play with Wisp, you should get your Wisp to block the guy, like after you stun him, because the tether slow is like a very big deal. So if they abuse the tether slow, maybe they didn't have to dive into the tier 2. None of their heroes died, thankfully, but that was a missed opportunity for them.
I wanted to hover the tether slow speed, but unfortunately
Yep,
this is break tether, so
Yeah.
what can you do?
Well, you can't level tether unless they fix that during spring cleaning. You can't level tether if you're tethered on a unit right now. You have to unbreak it and then re-tether.
I didn't actually read the IO section if there was one, so
There definitely wasn't an IO section, and there was like so many change. There's like such a long change log that I didn't read all of them.
So in terms of the lanes, we didn't mention who's playing where. It will be a lane swap. Tint, who played off lane game 1, is now playing carry game 2. Rook, who played carry game 1, is now playing off lane game 2. And Andy Bandy will reprise his role on the mid lane, this time playing Necro rather than Nuskar.
Yeah, both very honest heroes in their own right. Necro and Huskar.
We are seeing a lot of trading going on in the top lane, but we mentioned the power of the IO just keeping a hero alive. Sure, it's better with Necro, but it's still good with the Sand King.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this lane is like... It won't pressure the Dusa, but the SK will still make a lot of money, most likely, because Dire can't really do anything to stop the SK from farming either. Yeah, Neff is going to take a lot of damage here.
I wouldn't be shocked if soon, once he gets, say, 2 points in Sandstorm at level 4 or something like that, he might even start cutting the wave here.
Yeah. It's, there's potential there. Yeah. Yeah. That wouldn't be a terrible idea, I think.
I'll see what he skills, though. He currently has the 1-0-1 skill, though, which is pretty standard, but he will go in on Nephilim. Nephilim is low, but he's just dead, actually. The damage. Slightly too much. Down goes Omni-Knight. Now 2 kills for Pig Trotters, and they are off to a good start.
He stunned him, and then he made sure to just stay in front of him with what's it called, with tether, so that he was constantly tether. So also, complaining about damage rolls is the biggest cope ever, Hull City. I can't let that one slide. Complaining about damage rolls is like, I've thought about it, but like it's like such cope. Like there's no way that this is actually what you're mad about. That's all I had to say.
Turns out it is a 15% slow level 1, if anyone was wondering, like I was, but
that's so much.
I think it's an appropriate cope. You know, sometimes you make the lower percentage plays and it pays off. You know, that's I agree.
Rot is a
Hull City.
14% move in seed slow level 1. That's like a big deal. 15% move seed slow. Anyway, yeah, I mean, I think I've complained about gold rolls before, like, you know, like the random amount of gold that you get for killing creeps.
Yeah, that's much more of a cope than damage rolls, I'm quite sure.
You think so? I think they're like very equally, they're built up there, you know, or down there, depending on how you look at it.
At least you're getting your goal with a bad gold roll. If you get a bad damage roll, you suddenly turn, say, a range creep last hit into your range creep gets denied. That's a big swing right there early on. Like you mentioned always over and over, the emphasis of the first 3 waves. If you get a bad damage roll on a range creep last hit, that's just lane changing right there.
Yeah, but you have agency over like when your damage roll hits the creep, right? Like the creep dies, and then that's it. Like there's no way to, there's no, you know, it's more random in a sense. Because like even if your damage roll is bad, like how often do you think creeps die within like the damage roll range? You know, like it's definitely not often that a creep, like that you kill a creep and it does like 3 damage extra. So if you load roller, so if you rolled lower, you wouldn't get the creep.
I mean, I played CK, that hero. That hero's a 30 damage delta between highest.
I mean,
and
that
lowest.
hero gets every last hit, so you don't have to worry about damage rolls. You just hit a creep and then it takes like, CK just one-shots creeps. It's crazy. I don't know. They gotta fix that.
Is Cello Mello in danger? Let's find out. He's being run at by Tint
No
and
mana.
Immortal, but despite Chikuchi being on cooldown, Radiant, they like the mana to stun him, so no diff.
It's how's his bottom lane going? Fielski has 10 denies, Dragon Tail and deny, Trident your combo.
It's not very fun to play against for sure. I mean, I mentioned range creeps, so that's a good way to get your range creep denied. Walk up, stun, last it, or walk up, stun, deny. It's only 70 mana for a 2.25 second stun. It's very powerful. Over the top lane, Burrow comes in on Sonic God, but Dire, they focus the IO. The IO goes down. Big kill for Sonic God on Sauce, and now it's a 1-for-1 kill score in the top lane.
His courier died.
Was there anything on it or no?
No, it was on its way back, but that's really unfortunate. He was Sandstorm, so his courier died in the
Bot
neutrals.
lane, Tint Immortal,
That's
the damage,
big.
just too much. Tint even had the tree toss. He could have thrown it there. He chose not to. You know what? I'm faster than him. I'm just gonna slap him. Back to top lane again, though. It's Rook being gone up by 2, but Sauce has respawned, TPing in and healing. But you were saying before that?
No, I was just saying that kill bottom lane is big. The Tiny was struggling a little bit, but that kill like gives him a good game. He's just kind of having a meh game, and if that kill didn't happen, the Tiny would just continue to have a meh game unless like he took a good fight or something. But now his game is like quite nice. I'd like to see him buy a Quelling Blade, even though he didn't start with it, because I mean, it's not like you're waiting for the slot or anything. Like it's not like you're using the slot. You have to get rid of anything. Still worth the money, I think.
It's one of those things where it's very gold efficient damage. Back to top lane, it's Sand King and Omni Knight in the man fight. Both of them are dropping rapidly, but who will die first? Actually, it'll be Sonic God who drops first, and now it's Nephilim on the run, being run at by Sand King and Io. Hammer Purity will bring down the Sand King. Somehow, someway, both cores die. Both supports are completely fine. That is not what I expected.
Do you know Hammer Purity's pure damage? What the hell?
Yeah, it's a lot.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's why. That's what people complain about, but that's
Every
crazy.
pure damage Omni Knight.
Yeah, that's good. Anyways, Sonic God didn't have Mana Shield on there for a little while, so he ended up taking more damage, and even after he turned it on, it wasn't enough because it only blocks 70% of the damage taken.
I was genuinely shocked there when Sonic God died. I felt like he shouldn't have died. I was like, oh, he's just dead. He's just
Yeah,
dead.
I mean, he wanted to like conserve mana by not having it on all the time, which is like pretty common, but he just turned it on a little bit too late there. I think he was trying to bait them.
In trying to conserve mana, he just not conserved his life, so.
I mean, he's full mana now.
This is true, but you're missing a key step there, I'm quite sure.
Whole City going to the bottom lane. We also haven't talked about the mid lane as well. Absolute smackdown. I mean, the Andy Bendy is just farming small creep camps, and Whole City's complaining about damage rolls.
The whole city is looking to turn around his fortunes. It's a rotation bot lane. Tornado EMP come in on Tint, and Tint will drop. Kill goes to Cello Mello. Back over to top lane, it's Nephilim who lost his courier running at Sauce and Rook, but both of them will walk away. And yeah, you mentioned the CS differential. Last game it was quite large. In this game it's somehow larger. Not as many denies, but a lot more last hits.
Yeah, it's just it's a beatdown. That's this lane is definitely not good for Invoker, but it's definitely not this bad.
Is under attack.
Well,
Yeah.
speaking of mid laners rotating bottom lane, this time it's Andy Bendy, but unlike Invoker, Necker doesn't really have too much crowd control, and Dire just walk away.
Yeah, I think he like wanted to get something done because he saw the Invoker go bottom, but doesn't really have a whole lot of options. You can't like force things to get done as Necro. You just have to like take them when they're gifted to you. Otherwise, you're just farming in the mid lane. And he's done a good job of that. He's tied for top net worth with the Sand King. He has 77 CS as well, but
And despite the DK having a lot of denies, he actually is not doing that well in terms of the net worth. It's DK and Invoker 5-6, good bit below the Radiant side course here, other than the Tiny who is still with them.
yeah. You see, if I was Filski, I'd be complaining about gold rolls. Like, you know, 40 and 17, but Tiny has more money? For what? How?
RNG in a skill-based game, what can you do?
Yeah. You see the T-Governor tweet where he complained about RNG? Like, I don't even know what he was trying to say with that one, honestly. Europeans.
Agreed. But we're seeing bot lane, a bit of a dive by DK and Weaver. It's a toss in the air on Shellamel, but Tint will be completely fine. Bilski still wants to fight. He has the will to fight, but he's got half HP and low mana, so it seems like his tower might be damaged, but Rook is on the rotation. But Dire saw the TP in, so accordingly they will walk away from the Dragon Knights.
This is a wacky TV, but I understand his the idea behind it. He just wants to like sit here and push out the bottom lane now. He like bought a blink. So normally when you buy a blink like straight up like this, like a brown boot into your like small items to blink, normally you want to like start running around and start stunning heroes for your other strong cores. Normally when you just kind of like sit on a sit in front of a tower and D-push and try to maximize your own money, you'll buy like either boots of travel or like a whatever other small item that isn't blink, like a hood or a vanguard or something like that. I guess the one good thing though is that if any of his heroes decides to connect with him to this bottom lane, then they can always kill. Yeah, he does a lot of damage himself, and with this blink, he'll always be able to get the stun on this DK.
Did he intend to have the blink with him when he TP'd bottom lane? It seemed like the courier was all the way top lane.
No, he TP'd like really early, so I don't think he was, or I think he was at least aware. Tint's dead.
Lane, though,
That's big.
kill on Tint's. He went in there, but he ran into a 2v3 and he just died. Big kill, as you mentioned, yeah.
Don't got the top number. No, that's like that's a really big deal. Just one carry killing the other minute 11 like that without any major commitment. Tint is kind of started like we talked about it last game. I mean, Tiny, you gotta hit your timings, otherwise the hero can be underwhelming, especially against somewhat of a carry counter like Dusa, where once you have the Scotty timing, it's super hard to play.
Speaking of big core kills, they want Andy Bendy. He's half HP, low on mana. He has 4 heroes running at him, they all bring him down. Now is their vengeance. Rook has arrived. The Blink, the Epi. He's running at Filsky, but nobody's dead. Over to the south side, Chelamello has the Swarm on 2. He will tank a magic missile, but he's fine as well. Another kill. 3 kills in rapid succession if you count that Tiny kill top lane. And now, whole city apparently is feeling himself. He is, and I quote, tread lightly in the all chat 3 times.
That's good kills, but I don't think they've really changed the pace of the game all too much. This Necro still really farmed. Okay, I kind of like this. When you are like really strong like this on a core hero, and you aren't really able to like actively chase a hero for like pretty much the situation that Andy Bendy is in. He can't. It's hard for him to go actively look for kills, but at the same time, he is very, very strong in team fights. You kind of just want to like go TP and ache like a tower forever. Like he's just gonna sit here, and Dire can't do anything about this. So he's gonna take this tower now. Then I don't know. He might go bottom or something. Like this is what he should be doing. He's very farmed.
We are seeing a bit of action elsewhere as well, but nothing that's a kill quite yet. Nephilim is hasted running at Mortal, but I believe, yeah, Relocate comes in. Mortal will be fine, and now we're seeing a stun by Filsky bot lane on Rook. So it's Filsky fighting a 2v2, as there also is a 1v2 in the Radiant jungle with the Venge dying. Back over to Deuce of Stonegaze is pop stun came in, but instead it's Io bringing Necrophos away. So Rook has been left alone. Luckily, Dire lacked the detection for the Sandstorm, so Rook will blink away there.
Not too bad.
I dropped my water bottle in the middle of a bit of the action there. It was luckily nothing is too bad. A little bit of a spill, but everything's okay.
Hey, this game's looking a little rough for Radiant right now. Even though they do have, like, even though they are farming with all 3 of their cores, and Dire's farming a lot slower because they got the Cossack's Invoker and this DK who's just kind of running around blinkless, no shard. The Dusa is just like getting too much right now. I like the build that Son of God's going in this game. Just Dragonlance, Yasha, Scotty. I think it's better than going for any kind of like Mansa route.
Big kill attempt top lane, but so far the abilities have not hit. Vessel is on Necro, and that will be it. Dragon Tail, Chaos Meteor, more than enough there. Down goes Andy Bendy, and despite the fantastic lane start, he's being run at and he is dying.
He's not that tanky right now, especially against this vessel of Whole City. He's like this is where Crossflex Invoker starts being really good against Necro.
Big gank as well into Radiant Tri-Camp. They find the IO as him and Tiny were clearing out the stack, and now Tiny will get caught as well. Tornado. Ice Wall will miss, but it will not matter. It appears Filski, Chelomello there on top. Sunstrike from short range will miss entirely, but it will not matter. Tint gets that kill. He gets killed there by Chelomello, I should say. And that will be another 2 big kills for Polar Ass, and they even clear up the bit of that Tri-Camp creeps. There's even more money for Sonagod. He's #1 net worth by a country mile, and they're going Andy Bendy again. The Dragon Tail stun, the Vessel, the damage, far too much. And Pig Trotters, they're collapsing right now.
It feels good to be this.
He needs some raw HP now on Necro if he wants to continue being tanky. He just like straight up died and DK stun there. He's only level 2 as well. The game kind of just like fell apart for Radiant real fast. It's they're still able to take fights and farm quickly, but they're like going to be missing their timing now, and Radiant or Dire kind of needs to misplay for them to get back into the game. I'd like to see them just kind of chill for a little bit and look for kills when Dire is split. But like obviously that's on Dire. That's not this is something that you actively facilitate. Also, I think the Necro should get. Okay, cool. Andy Bendy sent the shard out. I was going to say I think the shard is like a really big deal on this hero, and being able to use it lets you one-shot creep waves, and it's very nice. I'm happy he bought it, but he does need some strength items, so I hope that he buys like a Sage now.
Back to the Radiant Tri-Camp. It's one more catch, it appears, and they have found Sauce on the IO. He'll get swapped by Mortal, but he's still dead to the Breathe Fire of Dragon Knight. Mortal somehow walks away for now, and in comes Rook. Cancelled. Thought Rook might go in with the Epi. He pump faked it and canceled it, so it will be a dead IO and no exchange. Quite yet. In comes Sand King looking for a burrow. It's now they're canceling the TP of Filski. Epi is canceled again by Dragon Tail. Rook is low, and Rook is just dead! In comes Andy, trying for a kill, perhaps with Scythe that comes in on Whole City, but it's no kill, so there's no Scythe stack, and now Radiant walk forward with Tint. They want the kills, but they only find a death on Andy Bendy. The trade will be for Whole City, so now Filski, Shallow, Nephilim, they run forward. Filski blinks, he wants the kill on Tint, but Sauces respond. Overcharge, relocate, have arrived, and Tint will survive, and Dire accordingly will back off.
Yeah, this is really unfortunate. That was Radiant took this fight and it didn't go well for them, so now they're set even farther behind. It's very difficult for them to even take a good fight now, because unless they're able to somehow get on the back line, then there's no way they can take this fight. Because they can't even kill the Dusa. Yeah, it's not even that going on the Dusa is bad, because you aren't able to kill her quickly. You just can't kill her at all, really. I mean, unless you're able to get her like 1v5.
And I'm sure Sonagod, I mean, it's possible he'll get caught in the 1v5, but it's certainly a big ask. It's an unlikely play, and speaking of Polar Ass getting kills, they find Sand King in the Radiant side jungle. There's one more kill there for Polar Ass, and it might be a trade for the mid T1 tower, but Dire have heroes looking to kill the Tiny. Sunstrike does absolutely 0 damage, but it did hit. Filski and Nephilim want the kill still, but Tint is being healed by Sauce on the IO. Magic Missile hits on Omni, and Radiant will walk away, it appears. Though Filski's blinked in further, he wants the Venge, and he will get the Venge. Down goes Mortal. They see Sauce thanks to that Swarm Vision. Cello wants the kill, has low damage, but has a will to fight. He's Shikuchiing in. Right towards Tint. Avalanche toss, hit on the Weaver, and Weaver has the time lapse, nearly got punished for his aggression, but will get away. As that happens, bot lane, it's Whole City and Sonagod fighting with Andy Bendy and Rook. Whole City is low, and in comes Relocate. Tiny has arrived, but Filski with another huge stun there on Tiny. Burrow, it's there on 2. Dusa and Dragon Knight. Io will drop. Rook is low. Tint is being cut over the Scotty of Sonagod. Down goes Rook, and Tint is trying to get away. He has the Avalanche. It'll hit on 4 heroes, but the Dragon Tail was there in time. Down goes Tiny. Necro gets away, but the fight is still a disaster. Polar Ass have extended their lead up to 7k, and they're pinging high grounds.
This is, I don't know what Radiant's supposed to do about this. I think they're just gonna hit this now. Deuce is low on mana, but you don't even care really. Maybe they'll back off here after the glyph. But honestly, I think they can just stay here. Venge is only level 1, so you look at the swap range, it's pitiful.
I agree. He wants to swap. He wants this Dusa who has no mana. Swap comes in. Dusa is stunned. Burrow has arrived. And the Scythe will bring down Sonagod. Now, Radiance want vengeance for the last few lost fights. Burrow is up in 2, but not quite in time to stun Nephilim. They're running for more. Perhaps they want Filski, but Radiant actually have no vision of the heroes. So the remainder of Dire will get away. It is one big death on Sonic. Actually, Filski's still there. Never mind, he blinks away. But still, one big death in Sonic and no one else gets away there.
That's important. That's how it starts if you're Radiant. Finish the Yules on Necro also, that's the first Reaper Scythe kill that he's gotten this game, minute 20. Which is pretty wild, but I mean, start. They're starting to get a lot of Yuleses on Radiant now. Jim has his queued up as well.
Yeah, less than 1,000 will delay, but that will be delayed for now. Filski and Shell have arrived. Sunstrike, from long range, brings down Rook. He has, I think, 2 points in Exor. Correction, 4 points in Exor, but apparently 4 points is enough.
Yeah, 4 points is actually pretty decent damage, like nearly 300 damage on Sunstrike.
I remember we saw one of the ones earlier where he had like 1 or 2 points in Exort. Hit a Sunstrike on Tiny, and it hit, but it did literally nothing.
That one, it was also shared with a couple of units. I think Tiny took like literally maybe 30 damage from that Sunstrike.
Guess every bit counts, but we're at the point now where Polarast they're in a pretty commanding spot still. They have not opted for Roshan quite yet, but it's certainly something they can go for in the near future. They've grabbed the bot T2 earlier. They've grabbed the Shrine, the Outpost now, and they're running towards the middle lane. Perhaps into the Radiant Shrine Camp once again. They've had great success ganking there, and they'll see Tint on the day vision, Sauce as well. But Radiant, no! The Epi burrows, air on Whole City. Can they get the Invoker in time? No! Guardian Angel has arrived. The remainder of Dire chase onto Tint and Io. Back to Dusa. He's hitting Rook, but swap comes in from Mortal. Rook is still alive. Stun comes in on Venge. Venge will drop, so it's 1 kill so far. Dire want more, but it's under this Radiant Tower. Sunstrike will miss, but Dire still want to die. They are going for Sauce under the tier 2 tower in the trees. Io goes down, and now they're chasing onto Rook, who has a blink and a burrow strike. He'll get away for now. So it's only 2 deaths, technically. But they might get a 3rd kill on Andy Bendy instead. Nephilim and Whole City, they see the Necro. They can't kill the Necro, though. So it'll be both the Radiant supports dying, and Dire getting nap control, and Radiant will split.
It's still pretty unfortunate for Radiant. A lot of stuff happened, but they still weren't able to get any kills. Dire. This time, we'll see if they go high ground again. But this time their Dusa has mana, so it won't just straight up die to level 1 swap like last time.
Well, they want Tint bottom lane. They know he's around there somewhere. They just don't know where he is. They found Andy Bandy instead, but Tint has also found Whole City. Whole City is incredibly low. Scythe, actually not used by Andy Bandy. He's going to get punished for it. Down goes Necrophos. They now run at Tint, who has Invis in 5, but this time Radiance cannot get away with the dust. Sure, Whole City will go down as Sonagod kills Sauce on the west side of the jungle. Back to Tint, he has been dusted. He has been brought down. So it is a 3-for-1. Invoker for 2 cores and an IO, and the lead, it ever so slowly extends.
Yeah, I think he was trying to use the Reapers, but it's hard to cast that spell right after toss, because they're like in the air, so it can be hard to like literally click their hero. And then after he comes down from toss and he tries to click it, it gets cancelled by the cold snap. Invoker dies anyways though for the Tiny, but I mean all the important heroes on Radiant except for Sand King died in the engagement.
Might be at the point soon where Radiant may make a desperation smoke. They have a smoke on Venge if they want to go for it. Tiny's live in 2, but Dire, they're in a happy place right now. They're firmly in control of the Radiant side track camp. And they are farming a lot right now.
Yusa is about to finish a Daedalus. This is quite the item choice, but I think it's fine. I don't think it's good, but I think this item will not ruin the game, most likely.
Well, the smoke has been broken on Mortal. Necro will get swapped. Or sorry, Medusa is swapped and stunned. They want this kill on Deuce, but Deuce is being kept alive. Scythe comes in, but Deuce is absolutely alive. Rook has arrived. Sunstrike will hit, but Radiance are trying their hardest. The damage, it's there in somebody's dire cores, but none of them are dropping. It's Mortal dead. It's Tint dead. Andy Bendy tries to salvage the fight, but Rook is dead as well. Scythe is down, Vessel is up, and Andy Bendy will use to delay the inevitable, but it still will arrive. Triple kill for Sonagod. Io gets away there, but it's one more fight in favor of Polar Ass, and it might just be time to run it down, perhaps for a lane of Rax, or maybe Sister Roshampit.
Yeah, this game's pretty over now. Yeah, because even if they like win a fight or two, then they still are just weaker than the Dusa. Like the Dusa got to the part of the game that she that she was hopefully not going to get to.
Well, back to Roshan Pit. It's already half HP. We're seeing some anger in the all chat from Big Trotters. We might have to talk to whole city between games about not all chatting for Game 3, but for now, that is not my problem. It's a problem for future me. What is the problem for future Big Trotters, though, is this Aegis. It is online for 4 minutes and 30 seconds, and I think the odds of a high ground siege occurring are quite high right now.
Yeah, I mean Dire's probably just gonna like farm a little bit. They got their DK BKB now, Invoker BKB. They just gotta deal with their lanes that are getting cut, and then they can just go walk down the lane.
Oh no, Necro's just TP'd in, but Dire are aware he's there. But can they kill him is the question. They're actually being distracted by Rook. The TP tried to get him away, but instead Filski cancels it. Sunstrike hits, and Rook will attempt to juke from the trees. He has Burrow up. He has Blink in too if he can live that long, but he will not. The Purification from Nephilim, I believe. He turned right on Sand and just got Rook killed there. Very unfortunate, and as a result, it's just one more core kill for that Polar Ass.
And died with honor.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. He should cut these waves on Dusa if he's going to play like this. He should really cut this top wave. He's going to play in their jungle like this. This is the whole the whole idea of playing in the enemy team's jungle like that is that you're very close to two creep waves, so you can just drag them like this. Yeah. Or actually, like this is more common.
Instead, there will be no patience from Polar Ass. They have a wave mid. They're going mid. It is an Alacrity Medusa with 2 lives. So not too much fear coming out from Sonagod. He does sit low ground, though, rather than high ground, so he's missing a couple of the attacks, but they're playing it slow. They don't want to swap in the tier 4s. At least not yet. Ward is dropped, but is instantly dewarded. RIP, the Radiant Side Observer Ward. It will be in exchange for a Dire Side Obs, and perhaps in comes Swap and Epi. They want a big kill on Omni Knight. Omni Knight is slow, the side will bring down, but no, the time lapse from Cello Mello! It saves him entirely! Both brothers go down, as does Mortal. It's a 3 for 0, and the time lapse from Weaver, Cello Mello coming in clutch, saving the Omni, saved the rest of the team fight, and now we are in a disastrous state. Mid-racks are dead. Radiant are down 2 with no buyback. And they will lose Andy Bendy as well. Down goes Necro. That's a dieback on Andy Bendy, and they know it. They have called the GG.
Pretty good. They won. I mean, they won this game for a little while, so I can't act too surprised. They played well though. They're like 15 minutes to like minute 9. They played really well. I think did a nice job running around the map. Even though the DK was really poor, as soon as he got his blink, they started getting a lot done with that. And Dusa farmed well. I had to look at the first phase bans again.
Yeah, I mean, perhaps we see different first phase bans, but notably Tiny is 0-2 this series.
Yeah, you should just not pick Tiny. I think Tiny is like not good in these lads games unless you're like, yeah, Tiny is just not good in these games. I think. Yeah, the hero takes a little bit of finesse and decent bit of teamwork.
Man, I have to pull up the rulebook, man. I don't want to do this. I'm casting, man.
Yeah, yeah.
I want to cast. I have to pull up a rulebook. Okay. All shit. Okay, is there nothing in the rulebook about... Okay. Okay. Ay, ay, ay. Hopefully, we've solved the issue for game number 3 because we're just seeing some real. How would describe this activity without being offensive? I want to use the word chimpanzee. We're gonna call it chimpanzee behavior here going on. A lot of shit flinging if we're being very accurate here.
Yeah.
What does this? I mean, they had to have. And they had to have known this was gonna happen at this point. But now all chat has been requested. It will be enforced. So hopefully, well, Sippy doesn't make my life difficult again.
Game 2 going on. I mean, both games are stomps, so I think this one should be pretty interesting.
Always about that giraffe. I mean, why can't I coin flip? Why can't I coin flip? Dude, the button is literally not working.
There you go.
Oh God! This went off like 7 times. Okay, hopefully it just works. I'm hoping it just works. I didn't mess it up somehow, so. Yay.
Who won? Okay, Polaris won, I said.
Yeah, they won the coin flip for game 3, the all important game 3 coin flip. What the? How does he know, actually? How does he know? How does he know this?
I think it's pretty easy. Either someone told him.
Who told him?
I'll say someone told him.
Who's telling him these things? That's a very, very dumb offhand comment that we just like.
I couldn't tell you.
He just seemed like a Red Orb player, man. I'm telling you, man. He just seems like a Red Orb player.
You have to like play Invoker or have played Invoker in the past. I don't like Badger. I'm gonna be honest. Hull City, he seems like the kind of person who just accepts that he gets carried in these games. There's not a problem. Like he's the mid player. He doesn't have to carry the game. But I think he definitely plays into that. Like last game, or like sorry, 2 games ago, he literally went brown boots into Yule Scepter on Void Spirit, which, as far as I'm aware, is a pretty dead build because it doesn't really let you scale anymore, which is why most people go either E-Blade or like Kaya Sange or Ags, so you can kill creep waves and you don't really fall off. And last game, kind of, I mean, it's like the same thing. He's playing Invoker. Game 1, he's just catch for his team. This game, he's kind of catch for his team as well. He Alacrity's the Disa. He's not here to play for himself. That makes sense.
Makes sense. Well, also makes sense though, as my need for some more water. So I'll see you in a few minutes. Logical.
Yeah, sure, same.
Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. 10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Radiant team pick. Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
Sky Wrath Mage.
Radiant team pick.
Dragon Knight.
10 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban.
Mars!
Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
You back, Logical? You are not back. I will save that thought for when you do come back. What we have on our hands, though, is the first phase of the draft. Both have to refuel on some water after the last two action-packed games.
Radiant team ban.
The draft's going very fast here. I mean, similar first phase bans this time, but welcome back, Logical.
Hey, sorry about that.
You got a lot of fans in Twitch chat today, you know?
DPC player Giant Dodo. That's crazy.
A lot of fans of Logical Dota in the Twitch chat today.
Love to see it. Okay, so Scarlet Mage gets left in the pool this game. They ban Omni Knight instead.
5
DP gets left in the pool this game. Because they ban Weaver instead, I see. And Polar S sticks with their same bans. Okay, so they let them have DP. And Skywrath the DK. Try and true combo. DK had good chunk last game. And then they run back to Mars. From game 1. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
They in their game
They
one
picked an
victory.
8. Yeah, they picked on this 8 pick as well. And it was good.
Was it 8 pick or 7 pick?
7, you're right. Because they 8 picked Bane.
Regardless, very early pick in the draft. We know that much, and they're very confident in their Mars picking. And they've run it back. More Mars.
You're looking at the bans: Batrider, Necrophos, Viper. Out once again. Timbersaw is in, but Timbersaw's pretty bad matchup against Death Prophet. You do a lot of damage to Timber, especially Suck is pretty good at killing it. And the Shard is actually really annoying. These DP players, they started just getting. I can't believe I was about to say Weave, but no, I don't play that hero that much. But the Shard is really good. So people have been getting it like extremely early. It's mostly for the +1 Suck, but the Fear as well is really annoying for a couple of heroes. And I think Timbersaw is one hero that is like really true about. If you like Timber Chains in and then you suck him as he's Timber Chaining in, then he'll end up getting feared. Like almost guaranteed. And that can be really annoying for that hero.
I love that you said we, and then immediately you're recoiling in disgust, like, oh god, we. I don't play Death Prophets. That's not a very honest hero.
That hero's too broken to not play. You know?
I get it. I mean, I played it as well as Spatula. I get it, but I was laughing about it.
Look at my recent games. Badger, it almost started from DP. It was Lesh and then DP and then bam, kill streak.
I believe you, but we do have a lot of reserve time being used on this 15 pick from Polar S. They are really thinking out this pick. That's probably going to end up being a support pick. Possibly their 5. Probably their 5.
Yeah. That I mean that's pretty much how the rest of their drafts have gone. Yeah, it makes sense. I mean they're trying to wait for on their core picks for 18 and 24.
Radiant team
Alright, there we go. They have selected the Grimstroke. A lot of time thinking out, and that's a hero that should pair well with this Dragon Knight in multiple ways. Inkswell the DK, Soulbind plus Dragon Tail. Lots of good combinations there, and also means the Pig Trotters definitely don't want to go for an illusion-based carry anymore, so like Terrorblade, Dusa. Or actually, Dusa not really an illusion-based carry, but a lot of these like really good Dark Portrait carries have a lot of worse late-game potential now because of Dark Portrait.
remaining.
Yeah, you don't you don't have to super avoid it. Like you don't. It's not impossible to pick these illusion heroes, but it's definitely annoying. Grimstra, like this DK is gonna have a very nice game because he already has 2 heroes that really enjoy playing around DK. Like normally you have the Grimstroke DK, that's fine as well. The DK can still run around and kill heroes. You got Skyrath the DK, then you can still kill heroes with those 2. But with all 3 of them, I don't even know what's gonna happen. But he can set up kills with either of them.
10 seconds remaining.
I had this Dark Willow hero as their counter pick. Certainly not a hero I expected, but a hero that can play well. I think potentially they could even go for a core Death Prophet, as crazy as that might sound in the current patch, but
I feel like core Death Prophet is better than support Death Prophet still, but because Death Prophet is so good, people don't let it be a core hero because it's people just counter it so much that it ends up like naturally going support. But I think mid is still Death Prophet's best role, and then it's like 5 and offlane, and so on.
well, seems like that thought is already lost. Seems like we'll be seeing a DP5 Dark Willow 4
Remaining.
with a
It
Mars
could be
3.
carry Kunkka.
It could be, and it certainly is an option for Pig Trotters if they want to do that, but it's feeling like Mars 3 Kunkka 2 right now.
Team back.
And they've run back the Medusa. It worked well in game 2, and say, you know what? We like the Medusa. It is this ticking bomb. Eventually it will be the late game hero that will be our champion, and as long as we get to the late game, or even to the later part of the mid game, Dusa will be too big to fail. And for Pig Trotters, now it's like, alright, how do we answer this Dusa? Can we high ground and end this game fast enough with like a DP EXO type situation? We'll have to find out.
Yeah, it's not as
Remaining.
it's not as dire for them as well compared to their last game draft.
5 seconds.
We'll still have to see what their actual like tricore looks like on Pig Trotters. But just having Mars and Kunkka means that you don't need to like raw end the game like you would with Tiny, kind of. As long as you're able to get an early lead and just like continue slowly out farming the dire heroes, and you'll be good. Your tricore is going to be able to outcarry the Dusa.
Well,
Oh, you know what? This Skyrath Mage Grimstroke is actually a pretty cool combo. I like playing this because I used to play a lot of Skyrath. It's with like the talents and the ags, you end up throwing a fuck ton of what's this spell called? Arcane bolts.
There's a lot of fun times to be had there. I mean, it's can you it's a double concussive shot as well, or is it just the arcane
No.
seal and the okay,
Yeah.
just the ancient seal and the arcane bolt? Then it's only 2 spells, but even then, so there's a possibility that they're even literally in range of the AOE of one in the other to get the double slow there. And this is a hard game if you're Pig Trotters. I feel like this is a very important pick, but I've got no idea what team is their draft here. I'm not sure what salvages it.
Also, yeah, I mean, I think it's more about the arcane bolt. That's nice to double, but Skyrath Mage has a -8 second cooldown ancient seal talent, and it means that you can perma silence people. And so I think you can double silence on the Grimstroke ult if you time everything correctly. I think they should pick a 5 hero for. No, they should probably just pick a carry for Pig Trotters. I think picking carry Kunkka is worse than mid Kunkka here, most likely. Having some kind of Drow Ranger would be good. Although Drow does kind of feed to this DK Scarrath lane, so they need something does well against Dusa. Won't feed to this lane. Ursa, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, it's not banned. We have not seen it all series, but I know Pig Trotters can play it. Both Tint and Rook come
Yell.
to on Ursa. PL's banned, so that will not be an option this time.
Oh, yeah, and-
they're out of time.
Team pick.
CK.
They've gone for the CK. I'm going to expect it to be a CK carry, Kunkka mid, but they have some flexibility here with how they're going to run this.
Yeah. I think it would probably serve them best to have.
10 seconds.
Yeah. Okay, so their cores are like Mars, Kunkka, CK almost definitely. So
5 seconds remaining.
yeah, we'll have to see what mid hero Polaris picks. Okay. Sand King.
Well, we saw one team pick Sand King, and it's like, you know what? I like that idea. Let's select Sand King mid too.
Pretty fine matchup against Kunkka because you both just end up farming. Have to see at the before the 0 minute mark what kind of shenanigans happens for the mid small camps. But I'd advise both of these teams to block the enemy's small camp.
Yeah, it would be certainly a good idea. I look forward to seeing exactly what's going to happen pre-horn. We've seen some big action pre-horn both games, and really would not be too shocking if we see some more action pre-horn again this game.
This Kunkka Sand King lane though, I think actually nothing should happen. I don't know what I was gonna talk about it. It's like sometimes when you're against Sand King, there's like this big sentry war that breaks out in the mid lane. Actually, a lot of times when there's Sand King mid, there's a big sentry war of just people like warding and dewarding sentries. I feel like that's not gonna happen. I feel like Andy's just gonna accept that he's not gonna be able to see the Sand King, and that's life. He's just gonna farm.
Well, here we go. Looking at overall drafts, though. You've been with Big Trotters twice. I've been with Polar Ass twice. You've both been right once. So you going for Big Trotter 3 games in a row?
I like Polar Ass's draft more.
I agree. I want to be contrarian and disagree with you for the third game in a row, but I can't. I also like the Polar Ass draft a lot better. I think it works together very well, and I'm not sure how Radiant necessarily finds an easy win. You know, I feel like if they're going to win, it's going to be a difficult win.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Polar Ass have one very easy win comp. It's use their spells, and then they work well together. It's very nice.
They've like very not very strong. They have like pretty strong team fight on Pick Trotters between Dark Willow Mars and Kunkka spells. So I think the team fights will be interesting to watch. But these like small skirmishes, Polar Ass is just gonna run over them with Ink Swell into DK Stun. Sometimes you can throw Mystic Flare in.
Well, if you are just joining us, welcome now to game number 3 of Pig Trotters taking on Polar Ass in the League of Legends Season 9 playoffs. It is a loser's bracket best of 3. Winner makes top 8 to play in No Title 2.0. Loser, they're going home. They're joining us all on the couch and in the Twitch chat. My name is Badger. I'm joined again by the one and only Logical, and you know what? It's do or die. It's game 3. Pig Trotters 1 game 1, Polar Ass 1 game 2. And you have to show what you have. If you win this game, you're in. If you don't, it is a long off season.
Yep. I'm trying to like look around to see if there's anything interesting, like in the starting items or anything, but no, not yet. Sauce has a ring of regen.
I'm surprised the whole city has a ward. He's playing a Sand King Kunkka lane. What does a ward do in that lane?
That's actually true.
Actually, they have a ward too on Kunkka. Why are there wards in this mid? Whatever. I'm just going to ignore it.
I mean, it's like Habit. You know, like you're just a mid player, you just buy the ward. I think it's not good, especially because 4 players do it too. And I think if you just like mindlessly give your mid player and your 4 player wards, I think it's bad. You should put some thought into it. I agree. The Sand King should probably just not have this ward.
It's Kunkka a little more understandable because, you know, you have Torrent, you have X-Mark, you have Tiebringer, but you're literally Sand King. There's a very good chance your ward gets dewarded from essentially being dropped anyways. What can you
Yeah, I
do?
think the bigger thing is there's like no like kill potential. Like, neither, unless like one of them fucks up, but there's not going to be like a rotation into a kill most likely, because SK is just like hard to kill unless Sand King messes up and you go hard on the sentry wards to pressure him, and then the Kunkka won't die just because he'll always be full health because he's Kunkka, and then occasionally he'll XTB back into base, and like your Skywrath Major, Grimstroke. Well, I don't think either of their individual rotations will kill the Kunkka. Maybe both of them coming together on like level 7 Sand King might kill the Kunkka, but I don't really anticipate any early kills in this lane.
Neither do I, but you never know. It is lads.
You're actually so good.
Some crazier
No.
stuff has happened in lads.
Andy, don't put your ward here. Okay. I think that one dodges. I think that one dodges the sentry.
If it is if the sentry's there, it'll easily dodge it. Yeah.
Just a wee fairy going about her business.
If it's like some weird sentry, just the D ward, then it'll probably hit. But
Wait, you can't see it because it's underneath the map. That's crazy.
I think that misses though. I think this will miss
I think it
the
misses
sentry.
too. Yeah. Especially because if you try to block with that, then normally you like try to put it at, oh my god, I can't believe. Normally you try to put it like I literally can't. You put it inside the wall so that it's not in tower range. But that's like really advanced. No one even does that shit even though it's
It's
OP.
5-on-5 fight time. The target for Dire is mortal. Castball hits on Nephilim. Both teams are dropping a lot of heroes fast. Rebuke hits on 3. Nephilim will drop. First blood grabbed by Rook. In comes Inkswell, stunning on 3. Rook is Dire's target, but they cannot bring him down. Instead, Radiant turn to Chelimo. Chelimo is very low, but he's still alive as well. Back to Rook. He went in, stunned the Sand King. Burrow comes in onto Whole City. One more hit will do it. Rebuke brings down Whole City. The Bramble Mace hits on Filski. Filski will barely walk away. Lots of damage to both teams. Radiant get a D ward. It's a 2-0 kill lead at minute 0 for Big Trotters.
Yeah. Also, Radiant got at like all the spells that they wanted to get at level 1. Meanwhile, the Sand King had to get stunned. And the Grimstroke had to get Inkswell at level 1. So this is like big win for Radiant overall. Like you see that's depressing. You see what the whole city just did in the middle? He did burrow strike the range creep at level 1. There was no explosions or anything going on.
Oh no, I was looking elsewhere at that point for top lane, but
It's actually
oh, no.
not that. It's actually not that sad, but it's a little bit unfortunate. This was probably going to be his skill build anyways. I think you just won Caustic Finale level 1. It's not like this changes the lane. No, nothing's gonna happen still.
This time, actually, it's a lot of damage on Andy Bendy. You got the, I believe, 2 Caustic Finale plus Burrow combo on the Kunkka, which is...
Radiant's courier has been
I mean, if this hero was not Kunkka, he might be dead right now. Kunkka's a very tanky hero.
True.
But then again, if he was not Kunkka, he wouldn't be playing in the lane like that. So, you win some, you lose some.
They put 2 sentries in the mid lane.
Huh. If they put 1 down to D-ward the Ops ward, and then if they have 1 down to Scout. But so far, there's no Sandstorm.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you need Sandstorm in this lane. Because even if you're Sandstormed, you still get hit by Tidebringer. And then the Caustic is really the nicest part because you're against a melee hero. He has to be a little bit... No, okay, he's going to be completely fine because there's the bottle coming up. But I think he has to, like, I think he has to change his approach to this lane on Kunkka. Like, if he walks up to this... Oh, no, you're going to get stunned.
That's
Okay.
a lot of damage again. Like, he's not dead, but he's dying.
It's fine. Nothing is gonna happen. I'm watching, like something's gonna happen, but nothing's gonna happen.
You said nothing's gonna happen, but you know, I think you sold yourself into thinking something's gonna happen. It's like, alright, spells are being thrown, but no, nobody's dying. That's been the tail in all 3 lanes. A lot of spells are being thrown out, but there's no kill threat quite yet. Perhaps when heroes hit 3, when heroes hit 4, then we'll see like an actual serious kill happen. But for now, a lot of heroes still 2. Not quite there yet. We're seeing Sonic get run at top lane, but he's still full HP just now with no mana.
Actually, top lane Dire has Grimstroke Medusa. That's quite a funky lane.
Perhaps bot lane might be our kill at long last. Siphon comes from Mortal to Filski, but still, nobody dead.
No, okay. The hero that I feel like is going to die, if any of these heroes die, is going to be this Grimstroke. I feel like he's like the only hero that can die.
And so far, Nephilim, with one exception being when he got bramble mazed by this tree area, hasn't really been at threat of dying, so we might be here for a bit.
He can die from full health if he walks a little bit too far. Like just God's Rebuke into the Bramble Mace, into Spear, into right clicks will kill him if he steps into position into God's Rebuke range.
It's a big wave coming in bottom lane for Filski. Look at all these creeps. 2 range creeps, 4 middle creeps. That's a lot of creeps here for Filski. Notice that the Skyrath walked away as well. You mentioned a lot the value of XP distribution in these side lanes, where it's like sometimes you have the support walk away so the core can get all the experience. And that's 6 creeps under tower, all for Filski, while Chelnell was stacking. Sure.
Oh, beast.
What the?
Didn't even use boat for that.
You watched that?
No.
What happened there?
It just got too low.
Huh.
Because it was like right before the 4-minute runes, right? So you're out of region, you don't got bottle charges, so you just greeted a little bit too much and died to the Sentry Ward most likely. Just X torrent to cleave. That's really big though. That's like that turns what should be a very even nothing happens lane into a favorable lane for Radiant.
I was told nobody would die. It didn't even occur to me in my mind to look at that.
I mean, if anyone was gonna die, I thought it was gonna be the other way. I thought the Sand King was gonna kill the Kunkka.
Yeah, we had some close calls, but apparently close calls not good enough. Kills are.
And died.
That.
Wait, what?
Did you see that? I saw that one. I saw that one. That one was crazy. Whole city. He like. Okay. So Andy Bendy clicked boat on top of his ward sentry because Whole City dropped a sentry and walked up to start hitting the sentry ward, and then he just boated. But Whole City really wanted to kill that obs ward, so he just tanked the boat and then died. So now this lane's like a super wash. Like this is really, really bad for Dire now, I think.
Seems like Whole City was not treading lightly enough here in this mid lane. He's
Okay.
now died twice.
Also, all this nothing happening, I think really benefits DP lane. Like the DP +5. Because this hero, the only way that this hero is like not good is if you die in lane a couple times.
we see
But because
multiple
nothing...
deaths top lane, both supports die. Both Sane and Tin should be alive though, perhaps. Jin's going in. He's spear.
He does have spear.
He lacks the damage, and now
He's gonna
Skyrath
die.
is back. Tin, you got a little bit too big for britches on that one. 2 kills for Sonigat, but you were saying before all of that, what were you saying about the DP lane?
You're really happy as 5 DP when nothing happens, because where you can just like get your levels slowly, get some money. There's no deaths going on, so like you're very happy about the way that this is going, because you're going to turn into a core now, just with this like level in gold that he's getting. He's going to eventually hit Exorcism, then just gonna be a core DP because Exorcism is broken. Also in the top lane, this was like really good for Sonagod. I was gonna say that it's good for Sonagod even before Tint ran in. Oh, Andy Bendy is fine, I think.
He has double damage, which actually is going in a 1v3, which is a little bit ballsy, but he's fine.
Okay, so yeah, it's good for Sonagod because his support died first, so he got full golden XP again on the Dark Willow. So yeah, I mean, and even after that, he got the Mars kill as well. Surprisingly, though, still behind in net worth to the CK.
It's more, I think this is CK farming that well. I mean, he's surprisingly only 32 last hits, but they feel like they're good last hits, you know? Also, you're killing assists.
He got real lucky on those gold rolls, yeah.
Wait, did he get first blood? Not first blood.
Yeah, probably.
It was Rook. That might explain it, actually.
I think also the kills that Son of God got were like he didn't really get that much money from them. I guess it's kind of not the same thing as what you said, but it's like yeah. Okay. So Kunkka is gonna be 4K net worth now. This Kunkka is gonna have like an 11-minute BKB as long as anybody doesn't feed.
So far, I mean, it's going to be hard to kill this man. He's got a lot of HP, a lot of cool spells, and perhaps instead it might be Rook dying. He actually goes in and chooses to fight a 1v3, but they are willing to turn on Polar Ass. Inkswell will stun the CK. He's still half HP though, now silenced and stunned by the Dragon Tail. In comes Sauce looking to save his CK, and CK is still alive! Now it's an arena on 2, DK and the Grimstroke on the inside.
Going on every
As
hero.
that happens, Sand King died as well. So we see both of these Radiant side contingencies merge together. They collapse on Nephilim, who drops. So during that fight with the arena at the bottom lane, in the Radiant jungle, we saw Kunkka and DP find Sand King. Man, this is just, it's all big Trotters right now.
Yeah, Halsey's having a really rough game. Like the whole thing about SK mid is that you always pretty much have a good game because no one can really interact with your hero. Like no hero can outdo Sandstorm in the early game. You can always just like farm the small camp really easily, but he was just not able to. His game's really bad. Lowest net worth core, and might die again.
Yeah, I mean, X-Mark, Torrent, the damage. Not quite enough yet, but he's rooted. He'll get brought down. As that happened, we saw the Radiant supports fight with Filsky and Nephilim, but no one died there. So that's just... Is that 4? Is it 4 or 5? 5 deaths on hold. 0, 5, and 0. And now, Tint runs at Cello Mellow. Cello will get away this time, but... It's a rough start to the game for Whole City 07.
Yeah, I mean, at this rate, he's going to be 0-7.
That's... Whole City knows he's laughing at it too, but it's a rough time right now.
They farm the stacks as well. Oh, man.
Maybe he wanted these stacks, but he... Actually, Nephilim gets 2 of the last hits there at that Stroke of Fate, but... Still, I'm sure if you're Radiant, you're happy taking those away from Dusa and Sand King.
Yeah. The Deuce's not... Deuce's game's fine, actually. I was going to say Deuce's not particularly having a good game, but that's a lie. Deuce is going to have this 10-minute Dragonlance timing, and you're pretty chill. You're not super free farm, but you're more than serviceable. You're having a good game.
Back to bot lane, Torrent will actually miss on Nephilim, but I believe his life still will be forfeit. X-Mark, Boat, Tiebringer, a lot of damage. Down goes Nephilim. It's a 5-kill streak now for Andy Bendy. Filsky actually will get his TP cancelled bottom lane as well. He's a very tanky man, but in this perpetual 1v3, it's hard to get away. Look at Siphoned, Sauce, Andy Bendy. They're both running at him. Dragontail will stun the Kunkka, but it's X-Mark, it's Torrents. Filsky, he's just tanking too much damage. Sauce gets that kill. As happens mid lane, we saw Tint and Cello once again in a 1v1 brawl for some reason, but neither will die. Did he arena for that? He did.
Yeah, he did.
Oh.
Andy Bendy's playing really well. And he's like, he hasn't died at all. This is, if he doesn't go for some kind of crazy play and die, then yeah, I mean, he's just playing really well. It's like literally like done everything perfectly, I want to say. Securing his game. He's like still running around and killing people though. 5-0-4.
Saw Sauce get a little bit too aggressive in the Dire Tricamp there. Tried to, I believe, either block the Ancients or something, but found nothing but his death in that case to the Skywrath and Grimstroke combination. Though, despite Sauce dying, Radiant still want to contest this Tricamp Ancient stack. Mortal, Andy Bendy, Tint, they're all there. Tint is hiding in the trees, though has no arena. Tint walks forward, has Spear. Dusa hits creeps. Dusa will lose one more last hit to the Mars, but gets still the lion's share of that Tricamp.
I mean, this is like Deuce is just like getting pressured here. This is like really obnoxious for Dire. They're going to have to kill Radiant eventually. But it's not super obvious as to how they do that. I really like the way that Radiant's playing right now. They're just all posted up in the Dire's business. So
Seems like they know they're on a timer, and they're not letting that timer tick down. They're just keeping it in their control for as long as possible.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
and they don't even like. Wait, hold on. I need to check a couple things. No, yeah, units don't die if they're, or illusions don't die if they're stone gazed, right?
Not anymore.
Yes, okay, that's what I want to say. Yeah, so Radiant like does not even have a super timing. Like as long as they're able to get all their money on their heroes, they'll be good. Kunkka scales. I mean, Kunkka's played more as a carry hero than as a mid hero almost, I want to say. So this hero scales incredibly well. CK scales deceptively. Like this is one of like the hardest scaling heroes in the game. Honestly, you farm super fast. This hero is just like low-key broken. The buff to the crit, you do 1.5 damage to creep, so you farm super fast. And then the shard is broken. I've been talking about it for a long time. Shard Octarine Core, quality build.
Mm-hmm.
Shard is really good as well. It just increasing the cast range you make the enemy team have to react to it.
I played against it last night, and you can just cast it from fog. It's just, it's really annoying. If it's nighttime, you just cast it on. You say, "Oh, I'm stunned now." Damn. It's hard. It's a hard game to play in CK ever.
Yeah, I mean the shard also helps you farm because you can just stun creep waves and then run away from them, and it's like PL shard almost, because then your illusions clear the rest of the wave. As well as the ult is like one of the best farming spells in the game, just because it's so low cooldown now. It used to be like 100-second plus cooldown. That's 75 at all levels, even though you only have one illusion early on. That's a strong illusion. It does the same amount of damage that you do.
And the crazy part too is how CK ultis evolved over time. Like back in the day, it was like this quintessential team fight carry ulti where you pop it, you team fight. Now it's just lower duration, with lower cooldown, so you just farm with it now, which is. If you told 2013 me, hey, people are going to use CK ulti primarily to farm, I would never have believed you. It's wild to think about that now.
Eternal Envy was doing it, even when that spell is 120-second long cooldown.
It's also Eternal Envy, though. He has a very unique way of evaluating Dota. He is
GWR.
GWR, but he's always a step ahead, either good or bad, in terms of Dota ideas.
That's like someone once told me that they saw someone refer to Mirana ulti as MLS. That lives rent free. I don't know how you could do that. You have to be a real sicko to call Moonlight Shadow MLS.
We are seeing Dark Willow and Skywrath Mage brawling the Dire Tricamp. Looks like Skywrath will survive and Crossbow will go down. Spear was missed by Tits. As that happens, Andy Bandy solo killed whole Tits top lane as Nephilim and Flosky are running at Tint. Dragon Tail will stun the Mars. The Mars will drop the damage from Nephilim. So overall, it's a 2-for-1 exchange. Both
Solo
teams
killed
lose
with
score.
the CK.
Okay.
The solo killed with help from CK.
It was probably mostly CK's damage, actually, but
This is easy to figure out.
it was mostly CK's damage. But
I can't wait. Why can't they click the death summary? The Dota Plus death summary.
I don't know why you can't, but I was able to until he respawns.
Oh, okay, it did work.
It was like 650 damage CK.
It works.
550
Mars works for mine. Mars works for mine. And they got this tower. Whole City TP'd up here, and he has travels, so he doesn't like live very easily. Oh,
Torrent a little bit short there from Andy Bandy. As happens, bottom lane, Arena was used on Filsky. Filsky goes down there. Back to top lane. They're still chasing on Sand King, by the way, but seems like Sand King will get away. Maybe not. The courier sees him, so they know he's there. They're well aware of where Sand King is. It is X mark into boat. It will hit. Torrent the follow-up, though it will miss. And now,
yeah, he has dust
Tumbler's
on
toy
him.
TP, and there will be no cancel this time for Whole City, so both mid laners have wasted a lot of time, have accomplished nothing.
He's gonna pick up this DD rune on Kunkka in a second, though, and has the BKB completed now, minute 14. So, you know, maybe there's some chance to kill the Kunkka with DK stun to Mystic Flare, and some Sand King spells on top of it. That's just not an option anymore, really.
Yeah, they're gonna need even more than that. Maybe like a perfect ink spell on top of that somehow. I don't know.
That's not that hard. You can get a perfect ink swell stun with Blink DK and Dragon Tail, but this hero just like has so much health that I don't even know if that would be enough. Maybe he can like layer them like really well somehow. Then you could do it, but you have to like as soon as the Kunkka BKBs, then he's not dying at all. So you really just have to put so much damage into it.
Maybe if Dusa is clicking Annie with Epi, that it's enough.
Honestly, I think this Kunkka, his first death will be with the Deuce of Scotty if he dies at all this game.
Whoa, if. Big if at this point, but we're seeing Radiant smoke us forward towards the Dire Tricamp area. It's everyone but CK. Mortal leads the way. Gust of Shot will hit on Death Prophet. In comes Sand King. Sandstorming for now. And we are chilling.
This is kind of bad for Radiant. Like, this is their smoke initiative.
They will lose Death Prophet, though. It might be in exchange for a Sand King. Gust of Shot will bring down Mortal. His whole city drops to the Tidebringer damage once again.
Oh, really nice X mark.
Comes in on Sonaga. The boat will stun, but Radiant uses it to walk away in this case. But notably, it's a 1-for-1 trade where CK is free farming.
Yeah, I didn't realize CK was top, so then that means it's really good for Radiant then, because he was farming this entire time with the Midas. And yeah, they trade 1-for-1. They're position 5 for the enemy mid laner. Is he 0-7 finally? Yeah, he is. Fuck Jim.
He has the one though, so he's not agent double 0 plus 7. No, he's
No, that's a good screenshot.
he's not
in general.
He's not James Bond, sadly.
What? Double? That would be 007. Yeah.
Yeah, but alas, he's not 007. He's it's a
Can I
B.
post this in League of Legends? Was that a?
I'm sure you can, dude. I'm sure you
Oh, okay.
can.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I'm sure you can.
Very nice. Very nice.
Who's gonna stop you? That'd be my job.
Yeah, but I don't know.
busy.
Maybe it's spoilers or something. That's why I asked you, right?
Good point. I didn't think about that one, to be honest. We're seeing Sauce try to solo kill Nephilim. As Mystic Flare is the response, Nephilim will drop against the soul battle before he dies. In comes a two-man Dragon Tail into a Burrow Strike. Tint will drop. In comes X-Mark, Torrent, there on Sand King. Sand King will drop as Rook has arrived, looking for Filsky. The damage. The Exo brings down Dragon Knight. So it ends up being a 3-for-2 exchange. Mars and Dark Willow for Sand King, Dragon Knight, and Grimstroke. So good fight once again for the side of Pig Trotters, and they want one more kill perhaps. They're running at Sonic God's general direction. They saw him on that Obs Award. Question is, can they kill him? Sonic God has no TP, but he is still Medusa. He's trying to run to the trees, trying to escape. Radiant scan, but it's to the north. Sonic God has juked for now, but Radiant are still pursuing. Mortal, Andy, Bendy, they smell the blood in the water. They want this kill. Mortal, he's searching, and he finds the Medusa. Stone Gaze is popped. The Medusa is so isolated. Problem is, Radiant only have 2 heroes now. X-Mark Bolt will hit into the torrent, but in comes Filsky, looking to save his carry. Sonic God is so incredibly low, but he's still alive. Mystic Flare arrives. Death Prophet will drop, and in comes Rook, trying to bring down Medusa. Andy Bendy will BKB, and Rook will pop the Phantasm. Mystic... Oh no, the arena, it's fantastic. It completely makes up the team fight. Sonic God drops. Terrorizer arrives, and Dire. They're somehow still fighting. Both Tint and Sauce went down to the epicenter damage, and now Dire pursue. They want more kills. Andy Bendy TPs. Just away in time as Rook will TP in the trees. Somehow, that turned into a very good fight for Polar Ass.
Yeah, they're a little bit light on damage on the Radiant right now. Just because like all their stuff is single target really with the CK, and Kunkka doesn't really do that much damage right now, which is why I want to say I really hope he doesn't complete this Aghanim Scepter. I feel like this is a really... Do you see the Luki game where he went Deso against Quincy in Game 3, and people were complaining about it because he's offlane Mars with the Deso? I think this might be the same thing. I feel like he can buy a much greedier item right here.
Well,
actually, I guess
Inkswell is on Filsky. Soulbind will be on the Mars and the Dark Willow, but people like to complain about Luki though. The Twitch chat is not a Luki fan. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, sorry. I just meant mostly he like bought Dessa. They were like winning a game again. They were winning Game 3 against Quincy Crew, and then he bought a Dessa because he was having a really good game. He was top net worth, and they ended up losing, and it felt really bad because he only got like 2 Dessa charges by the end of the game.
I think he would have hoped for more than that, but alas, he did not get them.
I mean, Dire, they still have their win condition, so they're good. I think Radiant needs a lot of items to like scale, and I don't think this ag scales really. I think you're playing for like some like set timing, which is not the goal of this Radiant draft. Also, I think Tint is like not really farming, which is kind of a big deal because you kind of need him to scale as well.
Well, Burrow Strike is dodged by the Pig Pole Death Prophets. Nobody will
Nice
die for
people.
now. And Radiant have a lot of vision coverage at this Dire side try camp. 2 observer wards on the floor.
He bought some components of the Ags. He's gonna finish it. Hopefully they can take a good fight with this somehow, and then he can get another item. But I do kind of feel like this is a waste of a slot.
Maybe he's thinking CK plus supports are enough damage, but it might not be enough damage. We'll find out.
Yeah, I mean it's like kind of damage, but it's like weird. Honestly, I think this item in general is just kind of bad, so I don't super like it. But we'll see. I mean, it definitely like does something. The spell is relatively strong. I just don't know if it's 4,200 gold strong.
I know for a long time we were seeing these Kunkas go for the quote-unquote water park build. A lot of Shard, a lot of Aghanim Scepter builds, but
The shard's good.
seems like we're seeing less of that nowadays, and we'll see if Andy Bendy on the throwback Ags build comes in clutch in these next team fights. And This next team fight around the Roshan pick could be the big one if it happens, but instead we're seeing perhaps a jump on Sonagod bottom lane. Sonagod will TP in the trees, and Kirsten does not TP in the trees. I think he canceled that one. Did he send no TP the entire time? Oh.
I think so, yeah. Oh,
Instead,
wait.
it is Sonagod caught again. X-Mark, Boat, Torrent, Curse Crown, Spear,
5
Chaos
heroes.
Bolts. Yeah, 5 heroes, more than enough. Down goes
That's really
Medusa.
big. That's so nice for Radiant. Yeah, I mean, this is... Their mid tower took like 100 damage. That was like the only trade they got for that, really. Dire is farming for their Dusa, and their Dusa is the one who died. This is a lot of time where these Radiant heroes can farm and catch up to the Dusa. Now, like, they can actually get to this Tricore state of the game where they're all just really strong. Oh, and
Big
Filski's
jump
gonna
on
die.
Filski. The Shadow Blade Chaos Bolt with Reality. It's a 4-second stun as well. Bad
Level
luck for
18.
Filski.
We're talking about how, like, the Kunkka was having such a crazy game just from the start. I was saying he was literally playing perfectly for the first 11 minutes of the game. Now the CK is level 18 as well. Just off the Midas and farming really well in the top lane. Sure farms dummy fast.
It's the brothers, once again, leading the way for Pig Trotters, and
Radiant's top tower is under
at the point now where they are looking to turn their lead into perhaps a bigger stranglehold in the map. All the tier 2s are still alive, as is Roshan, but instead Radiant will back off looking for more kills. The kill was being searched for top lane, but the TP was away in time. Scan spotted Dire, but could not find spells in time. Instead, it'll be Dire grouped as 5. With the exception of Dragonite, who I believe can TP in. He can't TP in if he wants to. They're instead just running at the DP bottom lane, who too will TP in the trees away from the fight. So that's a lot. That's a lot of nothing right there.
Just finished Scotty though, so this is like the one most important timing for Dire, but they can't really do anything off of it because their heroes aren't tanky enough, or they're not strong enough for this fight. But this item is going to be the one that turns the game, if any does. Just being able to Scotty these 3 strength cores during these fights is going to be such a big deal, especially because they're all going to have a BKB pretty much. CK just finished his BKB, Tint going for his BKB, and Kunkka has had BKB since minute 14.
Roshan is under attack for the first time this game. He's not long for life, it appears. Dire, they're not far from Andy Bendy mid lane. They want this jump, but it's going to need to be perfect if they want to kill the BKB Kunkka. They see him. They've smoked as 4. Here we go. But smoke is broken. The burrow is short by whole city. Now in comes X-Mark. In comes the boat. They want the Sand King, who's already at the half HP. Torrent up in the air. Andy Bendy will BKB, terrorize his Deuce as Aegis is grabbed. Sand King will now drop Soulbind's there, but there's an arena on Sonagod. He's on the inside. Filski joins him on the inside. Tint will drop, but Radiant's remaining heroes want betrayed. Dusa is down to below half mana. That Prophet will drop the Stroke of Fate as Radiant's core still want Dusa, but Dusa is just alive still. Now she's out of mana, but CK is almost dead. The stun comes in on Kunkka. Dire want this Kunkka kill. Can they get him? Yes, they can! Andy Bendy drops, as does the Aegis. And now, they want the CK. He's stunned again. The Ink Spell, the follow-up, the damage, it's just too much! Pig Trotters! At the wrong time! They are falling apart!
Yeah, that's really bad. They took the fight at such an awkward time for Rook there. So like he wasn't able to even click Phantasm because it was cooldown for a little bit and only came back up when he came out of the Aegis. I think that was just a little bit rushed from Radiant, but that kind of squanders their Aegis timing, which is a big deal. Now the Dusa is catching up in net worth to the CK and the Kunkka as well.
Net worth swing there, 4K in favor of Polar Ass. The lead has been cut more than in half, and now... Ooh, that's not good if you were a fan of Pig Trotters. Not at all. They're gonna get one more kill on Sauce as well. That is one very dead Dark Willow.
Yeah, and this is the state of game pretty much that where I think Andy Bendy's item build is going to like hurt them the most, or they're gonna like feel it the most, is because now like, the damage problem is only gonna go more and more. He's got Shiva's queued right now, which is kind of a damage item against DK. but against the Dusa, yeah, it is like another stat slash defensive item. Yeah, I mean, I think this is like a very big burden just to do all the damage right now for Rook.
Mid lane, Tint thought he might be in danger. Seems like he's going to be fine, actually, but ended up playing around with the polar ass heroes in the shadow of the middle tier 2 tower. Ends up not dropping there. Instead, they just force him away. During that, unsurprisingly, the Radiant side outpost gets controlled by polar ass. So now, somehow, polar ass actually ended up grabbing that first tier 2 tower of the game. There's still plenty of them up, but even though they're up by 2k, it just feels really bad right now. I mean, you mentioned lack of damage, and it just seems like this Dusa is... I mean, look at her damage as well. It's getting high. Dusa is doing damage now. That's getting real scary now.
I mean, yeah, I don't know if it's like... I don't know if it's terrible or anything. Like, they can probably still take good fights if they play well. It's just like way harder from where it was before, where this Dusa, like, this 20-minute Dusa with Ultimate Orb, Yasha, Dragonlance, now has Scotty SNY. Like, this is still not that farmed for Medusa standards, but it might be good enough for this game.
She is one Daedalus away from having a metric ton of damage at that point, but for now, Radiant, see, you know what? Maybe we still can make a big play. We're smoking perhaps as 4 towards the top lane. And that appears to be the play. They're dewarding to smoke. They have not smoked yet. They're instead splitting and pushing out lanes. Top lane, polar ass, they ping Rook. The burrow leads into Dragontail, into Mystic Flare, and down goes Rook. He is dead for 80 seconds. T1 tower top, it drops. They now move to Sauce, who is slowed. The burrow, the follow-up, and that will be more to lock him down there. Dark Willow again drops. And polar ass, I believe for the first time in this game, have grabbed the net worth lead.
Sounds correct. Yeah.
I guess they were ahead before minute 1, but other than that, yeah, it's the first time all game polar ass have grabbed the lead.
Before minute 0, they're up as well, at least.
That's a kind of ancient history, though, compared to, you know, right now. Literally
Yeah,
right now, the present.
30 minutes ago. Okay. Well, 10 finished the BKB, finally.
Radiant's middle tower is
Unfortunately, they're not really scaling on Radiant right now. They're not farming fast enough to keep up with the Dusa. Yeah. Kunkka goes back for the shard. So it cancels out the what's that item called? Shivas from the quick buy.
Well, the Mahol City, big jump they can get it. He's torrented in the air, but he didn't even use the BKB. He knows he's fine, and now Andy Bendy will BKB. Rook and Tint arrive. Soulbind on the real CK. He's isolated for now. Andy Bendy has a Torrent Storm in the boat looking for Medusa. Medusa is still plenty of mana. Doski will BKB, fighting with Rook. The illusions on CK are now dead, and in comes Tint. The arena is there on Whole City. Whole City, though, is still fine. Tanking Mars. They both BKB as Exo is still active on the DP, trying to damage the Medusa. Medusa is fighting the DP. Now, Dire, hunt for the Mars, blink in by Whole City, and the kill goes to Chelamel on Skywrath Mage. Now, Radiant, they've lost one. They're on the run under their tier 2 tower. They appear to be getting away in their remaining 4 heroes, but that is still not good for them.
I'm not sure.
They get Andy Bendy. It's a hard kill, but they're just cutting him. Never mind, it's not hard at all. Let's kill him.
Scotty, infinite damage.
Apparently it is. I mean, Scotty.
Okay.
Slow.
I mean, they just do enough damage. That wasn't even on the Scotty. There just has the Crystalist able to cast a bunch of spells. The Kunkka is not particularly tanky anymore. The hero, I mean, he's BKB 3.5k health, but that's not that tanky when you're against a bunch of the dire heroes.
Radiant have glyphed. It will save their high ground for now. But keyword appears to be for now. Polar Ass have the lead, they have the momentum, and they have the better late game lineup. For Pig Trotters, is there a play you can make, or do you have to wait, or do you simply have to wait for mistakes now?
You try to take these fights by going on the supports first. If you try to like run into the Dusa or run into these BKB cores, you're not gonna ever be able to take a good fight. So you have to try to like arena the supports, and then stay inside the arena so the Dusa can't hit. Yeah, I mean taking long fights is hard with your team, but you have to like try to do that to the best of your ability. And you have to kill the supports first. Oh, Skyroth has an Ags finished. Okay, that's cool. I like this.
Ooh, that's powerful.
This is like pretty much my Skyroth build as well. Except I think E-Blade's really good now, so I hope he buys the E-Blade, because that item is like made for Skyroth Mage. But this Ags, I was talking about it during the at the start of this game when we were talking about Grimstar Skyroth Mage, but like when your Arcane Bolt hits a hero, it just like shoots another like volley of Arcane Bolts. So he has the 15 talent, he has Ags. So he shoots an Arcane Bolt on a hero, and it shoots 3 of them, and then after it connects with the Soulbind target, it shoots another 3 of them. And so it shoots 6 on a 2-second cooldown.
Polar Ass, their Smoked Ass 3 is the Gang Squad, finding Andy Bendy. He's silenced and burrowed and dead. And now there is a double damage Medusa running down the middle lane. Notably, Radiant's Glyph is on cooldown. This defense, it will be difficult, but it will be very important for Pig Trotters. T3 is low. Rook goes invis with that Silver Edge. Medusa, forward, back. She's now backing, perhaps towards the Tri Camp once again. The T3 has been claimed, and they are content with their bounty.
He says BKB now in the courier. He's probably waiting for that. Also probably just like looking to take the next Roche, which is going to be the... that's probably going to be Dyer's cue to end the game. The last Roche was very unfortunate for Radiant, in just the fact that they rushed that team fight, and then this one they're gonna probably okay. Roche is gonna respawn in 30 seconds, and this is a I wish I could read this better. This is like a kind of late respawn.
I don't think so. Actually, I think it's relatively on the early end, but the result is the same. It's going to be live in 9 seconds. So
Can you tell me how to read this circle?
It's like a clock, right? Where it's if it's like 11 o'clock, then it's the longest. I think if it's like maybe not. What was the clock? Like kind of like a weird analog clock, but maybe not.
I feel like I knew how to do this at one point. I feel like it was really easy, but now
it used to be easier. Yeah, it used to be a lot easier.
Oh, really? Okay.
It used to be like an actual clock with hands on it. Now it's like I don't know. What's important though is the second Roshan.
You should just be able to hover the Roche thing. You know how you can hover? It says Roche will respawn or may respawn starting the blink. It should just say when then. Anyways, that's besides the point. This fight's really important.
And they find the right jump. It's a two-man terrorize. Dragon Knight and Dusa. DK's on the inside, but he's just so tanky. Both teams pop their BKBs. Everyone throws in everything. Doski dropped. That's a massive kill. Masana is very strong right now. He's fighting with everybody with that split shot. Andy Bendy is low. The spells are flying. Nephilim dead. Andy Bendy low. Nephilim buys back. Andy Bendy drops, and now Dusa tries to salvage the fight even further. But she is just winning this fight so easily. Tint is dead. Rook is dead. Radiant are down cores. Their DP will dodge Burrow Strike, but it will not matter. It's 4 dead on the side of Pig Trotters. It cost Polar Ass 2 buybacks, but they are now... Their lead, it's even bigger. It's just too large now, perhaps.
Yeah, it's going to be ages for Dyer, for the Medusa more specifically.
And Sauce is dead too. Oh no, it's a full 5-man wipe.
There's your rundown mid now. It's, Radiant has all their buybacks, but they don't have any of their spells. I guess they're gonna have fantastic. Like they're gonna have one more volley of spells before the game ends. I'm just not sure if that does anything.
And they have all 5 buybacks, but well, it's still hard even with 5 buybacks. Kunkka will begin the buyback. Mars will use his as well. Sand King blinks away as Dusa hits the buildings. Ranger Axe mid go down. Sauce buys back as well, so 4 are alive. Rook has his, but has not used it yet. Melee racks are still under duress. In comes the Mystic Flare of the Burrow on Mars. Mars is dead with a buyback. Oh no! And now it's a Dragon Tail on Death Prophet. Dusa is hitting. and death off it will Yules herself, surviving for it now. Filski still wants to kill the burrow, brings down the DP. Mortal has the buyback if he wants to use it, and he should. But it still will be a 4v5 defense. The Torrent is on 2. Tidal Wave tries to delay. But Polar Ass are just so strong. Phantasm is popped. In comes Torrent. It's there on 2. But Epi is the response. The illusions are dead, and Rook is low as well. He wants Nephilim. He'll get Nephilim. But it may be at the cost of his own life. Terrorize was fantastic. Sand King is low, but he BKBs and remains alive. Rook dies, buys back as Dire. Go on Kunkka. Kunkka will die too with a dieback. And now, it's a 3v5 defense. They get the Skyrock, but it's at the cost of Sauce. Dire have 4 lives remaining. 2 on Duso, 1 on their remaining cores. Rook has been stunned by Dragon Tail. He's being kited by the Dragon Form Dragon Knight. He'll Chaos Bolt on Filski, but Filski is still alive as Sonic God hits the CK. CK will drop. That too is a dieback. And you know, it has not been called yet, but that is game. Polar Ass moving on to the top 8, and for Pig Trotters, yeah, it'll be over. They will now be eliminated in 9th place.
It's pretty important. They played pretty well in a couple of these games, and I mean, this game even they were up a lot of gold for a really long time. But Dire brought it back. Thundergod played really well this series, I think. Actually, he had that one unfortunate feed this game, but aside from that, he's able to glitch these timings on the Dusa both games.
Polar Ass, man, they had the longest run. I mean, they were 1 loss away from not even making playoffs, but they've made, seed-wise, 2 upsets. They beat 2 teams who had a better regular season record than them. And I just don't get how Polar Ass does it sometimes. They just win. They're just a winning Dota team somehow. It's wild. We are going to be interviewing with Sonigod, though. I'm going to add him to the DM in a second. Currently having a low priority party.
Cool.
But I'm going to add Sonigod to the DM real fast.
Hello.
We are now being joined by victorious Carry Sonigod. How are you tonight?
Man, after that first game, I mean, I was just going to take a 2-1 loss, but thankfully we were able to turn it into a 2-1 win. Even with Hall feeding the game 3, which was pretty interesting, but, you know, that's how it goes.
Game 1, you mentioned it there briefly, but that was a beatdown that was not good.
Yeah, no, that was a pretty ugly game. The Undying Hero felt really good, and even though we picked the Snapfire for it, it still did not feel like it kind of solved the issue, and they kind of just like 8-moded at us. It's not a good game, but you know, you'll have those occasionally.
After the game 1 loss, obviously you guys bounced back. Game 2 win, dominant fashion, and we saw your teammate, your mid laner, Whole City, begin to feel himself. You know, we saw game 1 silent in the all chat. Game 2, about minute 14 or so, I was like, all right, timed all chats.
Well, he was pretty quiet in the I think like the early stages of the first game or of the second game too, because he said he had like only like 2 CS over the first 3 waves. So I don't know if he was necessarily feeling himself at that point, but yeah, by the end of the game, I think he found a good groove, which is, you know, that's what you need from Hull, man. He's either feast or famine, so you got to get him when he's good.
So game 3, it felt like one of those games where you guys really were in a very losing position early on, and you ended up turning it into a major team fight turnaround. What was going through the comms in terms of like setting up that last key team fight? Were you just jubilant? Were you just like tense? What was going on with that last sort of turnaround fight there?
I think the game started feeling really good. I'm gonna I'll bounce back to that question, but I think the game felt really good at that fight bottom where I was going to TP mid to the team fight and then I canceled, and I think they realized that I canceled, so obviously they're trying to go look for me. I'm kind of hiding in the trees, and the DP sees me, and they were able to start, they started initiating on me, but it was like long enough where my team was able to respawn, and Filski hit like a really sick stun on their mid laner, the Kunkka, so he wasn't able to get the combo off on me right away. And I think it set up the fight really nicely for us because I ended up dying, which wasn't great, but Hull City ended up getting like a three man stun, obviously, and we have just like Skywrath and Grimstroke just pouring damage into the fight. So like that's like I think where the big turnaround came. And I think by the end of the game, it just felt like the 3 cores that we had were too tanky to die to their like maybe not initial burst, but like the Mars Arena with all of the Kunkka stuff. So I think we were feeling pretty good after like there was the first fight that I just mentioned, and then like the next fight went pretty well too. And then I was like, okay, so like we're not definitely not in the position we were at like 15 minutes in the game where they're just holding our triangle while simultaneously farming like it seemed like all 3 lanes at a certain point.
Logical, you have any questions for our man Sonic God?
Yeah, sure. So, what what kind of draft prep did you guys do going into the game? Because you banned Tidehunter all 3 games, right?
Yeah,
So,
I think the one thing that we noticed when we were looking at their team was that they played Tide at I think like obviously you can flex it between the 5 and the 3, and they have a pretty good win rate with it. I think we played against it once and it was pretty impactful, and so it was just something that we didn't want to deal with. And then we weren't really sure because it's like Tiny Omni is kind of the meta right now if they were gonna go for that. But obviously, since we had first pick game 1, we kind of left it up to them to see if they wanted to ban it out or not. And they decided to ban out. What is it? They banned out their own Death Prophet because I don't really think that we picked that hero, but they banned out Death Prophet and then Skywrath. And so we kind of had the choice to ban the Omni Knight and take Tiny. And I think that they did a really good job of dealing with that. And then obviously we gave them the Tiny game 2, but we got the Omni Knight out of it. And I think after that point, like it's kind of funny that like you get like that like the inter meta within a series. Like game 3 rolled around and like no one banned Tiny and no one picked it either. I think it just it doesn't work game 1 for the one team. It doesn't work game 2 for the other team. And I think everyone's just like, all right, like this is just not going to work out. So they kind of just left it. But I was surprised by their bans game or in like the first phase, just because I didn't really think that our Skywrath is like like top tier or anything like that. But we don't pick Death Prophet, so I kind of felt like they were gimping themselves a little bit. But yeah, like draft prep wise, we just talked over kind of what they picked and what we don't want to play against. Game 2, I think we had a little bit more of a discussion about how we wanted to play because I think our draft game 1 was a little. It was pretty bad. It wasn't a little bad. It was really bad.
yeah, we talked about that as well with the Tiny. How like the hero is good, but you gotta like play around it carefully because it gets kited hella easily. So
yeah, and then I showed up to like 2 fights and just fed, and I was like, all right, well my game's over, so like maybe shouldn't have done that.
it's hard to play against all.
Mm.
There. Okay.
Thank you for joining us, Sonic. Do you have any final words, call outs, shouts to say to the people of League of Lads?
Shout out to Hull for surviving yet another series. I can already feel the levels though. Like we're started pretty high on the tilt this one, so I can only imagine next series if it starts out poorly, like just going to be an even higher level. Hopefully, there's no all chats because we love to see Hull when he's at his best, and his best isn't playing Dota. His best is the all chat that comes with playing Dota. So, also shout out to our team because I was not expecting us to make it past the first round of playoffs after getting 0-2'd for like the last 3 games. So I'm really happy that we're kind of finding a stride. So
what can you do? But
yeah.
Thank you for joining us, Sonic. Have a great night. Congratulations again. We'll see you probably in the top 8 at some point.
We'll see, man. Thanks for casting though, guys. Appreciate it.
Over to Logical. Any more analysis before going to go with my usual outro?
Pretty unfortunate for Trotters, I'd say. They had an overall pretty good run with the unconventional team strategy. Sad to see them go out like this. But their run wasn't terrible, I think. Especially with like literally double ancient support players. It's pretty impressive how far they got.
I agree. But thank you for joining me at Logical. Do you have any final words, call outs, shouts to say to the people of League of Lads?
These games were pretty fun to watch, no matter what happened on the all chat. But aside from that, follow me on all of my Twitter accounts now. At Logical Dota 2, at Simply2Based, at Dota Buff. Yeah, just those three. Actually, those are all my Twitter accounts. Thank you.
MrTwitter.com himself. But thank you again for joining me. Thank you for tuning in and watching, to the viewers. For those who want us to cast your games, cast your tournaments, if you want me and Logical to cast your pro tournaments, you can contact me over at Discord. It's Badger5713 or Twitter, twitter.com/BadgerDota2. We are hireable and waiting for offers. We are very available for it, but for now, thank you for watching. We will be back tomorrow nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is another elimination matchup between Canoe and the Canoobs and Metaverse Esports. We'll see you tomorrow, but for now, thank you for watching, and as always, have a great night.